Yeah,
Okay.
sorry that we have to do the introduction again.
Yeah.
I'm Roxy or Moxie or Mooks.
Hmm.
And yeah, I have never really done like a talking to somebody type stream before, so this is
Cool.
like my first time doing that.
My name's Hunter. I do political content. I make videos mostly on TikTok. I have a degree in philosophy. I am getting my degree in mathematics as well. I'm getting a second one. Hopefully be a math teacher sometime soon. And then all of my students that I'm teaching are going to be like, wait, hold on. You were doing a debate with some like porn star? What the hell is this? Um, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that.
Yay!
I'm excited
Yeah.
to get those emails from concerned parents.
I'll make sure to give you a terrible reputation.
Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I talk mostly about politics. I would largely consider myself a progressive. That's kind of like the default label. I was kind of telling Roxy I don't really like labels. Um,
Mhm.
I think that they're usually counterproductive. I usually don't like the uh, everyone kind of finds their own echo chamber to situate themselves in, and I'm a big believer in conversations and debate and uh, maybe be respectful towards each other, but I don't know. If you get mad, I get it. Like I'm not. I try to worry about like me not getting too mad because I don't find it particularly effective. But I always find it
Yeah.
it's such a loser behavior to just go like, well, that person got angry, so he was wrong. I'm like, dude, sometimes have you ever been on an expert and you have to deal with the dumbest motherfucker on planet Earth? It's like you want to tear your hair out, and then people are like, he tore his hair out, and
Yeah.
he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm like, fuck. It's the yeah.
The way I
Anyway,
view it is pretty much like if the other person is in like a mode where they don't want to interact like a human being and they want to make
yeah,
content, then I'm like, sure, I'll lean into whatever I'm feeling.
sure,
But if you want to talk like a human being, I prefer that so
yeah.
much.
Do you
So
do a
yeah,
lot of
I don't think I'll get mad.
debates?
I was in a debate club when I was a kid.
Hell yeah.
I guess I chat online a lot.
Sure,
I
sure,
don't know.
sure,
I've
sure.
never really done like a debate
It
on stream. I
yeah,
just prefer them.
it is kind of true that like just the nature of the internet. It's like everyone's
Yeah.
almost always debating. But yeah, I do. You should watch me on TikTok. This is my little plug. Follow me,
Wow.
Hunter E Kozak. I make stuff
Yes. Yes.
on
Follow.
TikTok. Um, but yeah,
I've seen you on Live and Learn.
yeah. I actually started that with Josiah forever ago. And
Oh,
then
I
both
didn't know
he
that.
and
You
I.
you started? Oh shit.
No, it's okay. That's deep lore. Not everyone needs to know. But yeah, I started
Wow.
it with me, Josiah, Conaboy, and Pisco. And then three
Yeah.
out of those four people just didn't have time for it anymore or left for
Yeah.
whatever reason. So only it's kind of a ship of Theseus situation going on over there. But I still have time, and I'd like to dip my toe. And I love those guys. I don't know. I don't know if anyone cares about this, but I
I
like a lot of
do.
those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them are I would
Um.
consider friends. Some of them I'm not. I don't have any bad blood with anyone, but you know.
Yeah. I don't know how much you know about me. I'm mostly a Destiny watcher, so that's.
Gotcha.
I guess that would have been a quicker answer to like, do you like to debate? Like, I mean, well, yeah, that's yeah,
Sure. Yeah, I've been on Destiny a few times,
yeah,
half dozen or so. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, cool stuff. I don't watch a lot of his stuff though. I'm usually kind of in my own lane, and I try
You
not
just seem
to.
busy.
Yeah, I mean, being in school and doing content's a lot,
Yeah.
but yeah. All right, so we're
Well.
here to are we debating sex work? Is that what we're doing? I mean, we're not really debating it, but
I wanted to see where we align and where we differ.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was about to yeah, because I was gonna say, and then you realized that we weren't even live yet. I think we're gonna have a
Yes.
huge disagreement already
All right.
because I I think I'm a pretty strict utilitarian. I'm
Yes.
very much in favor of just whatever brings maximal utility, and often I believe that that's liberal ideals, but I'm not strictly adhering to liberalism. Like, there's anyway, I
I'm not
kind of
sure what that
reject.
means. Can you?
Yeah. I'm just saying. So liberals will often say maximal freedom.
Okay.
Um, largely speaking, and this is like kind of like the John Lockean, like the classical liberal, like kind of the first people who were describing themselves as liberals were like, okay, well, we should have, you know, maximal freedom. Everyone should be able to participate in government. No one should be owned. Everyone should have a right to vote. You know, like these kind of basic tenets of liberalism, I largely adhere to, but I don't
Mhm.
have a strict adherence to it because I don't know if maximal freedom is really the best idea. I think there's a lot of ways in which um, freedom, like I'm okay with freedom as a default, but
Yeah.
I will recognize a number of places in which um, freedom makes the world worse, and maybe we need to take it away. And I know that sounds fascistic, but the problem with fascism is it tends to lead to a lot of uh, pain for a lot of people, which is why I'm usually opposed to it. Not just because it's like
Yeah.
restricting freedom; it's because I think the ways in which they restrict freedom. I mean, a good example is like. Um, if we could ban cigarettes in a way that doesn't I don't know, like I'm not necessarily interested in just like we should let people um smoke
Yeah.
um because it's their body, it's their choice. I don't really believe in that tenet. I think that that's a bad argument. But I tend to
Okay.
agree with people who use those arguments because I usually agree with their outcomes. I would say that, like, for example, I'm usually in favor of legalizing marijuana. And that's largely because when we legalize it, one, we're able to tax it, two, we're able to control it, and three, we're able to make sure it's like stable and doesn't have like fentanyl in it, and like we can regulate it really well. Things like that, where I would like to have the government sort of control it
Yeah.
to make sure it doesn't harm other people, requires legalization. So I'm in favor of that. But on those grounds, like I don't,
Yeah.
I just, yeah, I don't know. Are you a big bodily autonomy? It's my body. I can do what the hell I want.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, I already have a question. So
Yeah.
so you probably don't believe that somebody has the right to do something that results in self-harm if it also results in their personal fulfillment. Is
Correct.
that
Yeah. Not only do
okay?
so. Yeah. I have a history of self harm. Actually, I was
Yeah.
super depressed when I was 18 years old. But I also worked in a treatment center for kids with self harm tendencies, and like I do think that it's extremely, extremely valuable for kids to essentially. I know. Look, I'm gonna bite the bullet here because
Yeah.
I think that this could be worded somewhat poorly, but I'll bite it. Like I think that those kids should have their freedom taken away and
Yeah.
put in a place where they can learn to treat their body better and to learn self love and learn to care about themselves. And there were a lot of kids who were like, "Why are you telling me I can't hurt myself?" And they would like slash their wrists, and
Yeah.
I had to physically restrain a number of kids from cutting themselves, and like that's a
That's
hard position.
terrible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really horrifying. And
Yeah.
I had to quit for a couple of reasons, but like one of the things is like it's really hard just staying in that type of environment where like
That sounds hard.
I've probably been in like 100 restraints where people are trying to hurt themselves.
God damn.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I really stopped believing that these kids um have a have a right to do whatever they want with their body because they were so clearly self-destructive and so clearly like and I think of myself when I was 18 years old and like
Yeah.
I am so glad. I mean, I was luckily able to escape it, but like I this idea like I'm what I'm saying is I'm so grateful um that I was able to move past the mentality that I was in a very self-destructive way towards the mentality I'm in right now, and I want to make sure that I guess what I'm saying is like we're essentially holding like the 30-year-old kid, sorry, the 18-year-old, we're holding him
Yeah.
hostage to his 30-year-old self, right? Like if
Okay.
he's like I'll cut off my arm, I don't fucking care. Like the 30-year-old him is like why the fuck did I think that that was okay? You know, like
Yeah.
sometimes they're in such a mentally destructive state of mind that actually like restraining them or putting them and obviously there's like humane ways to do this and I'm a big favor of
Yeah.
like it's not just like we're locking him and throwing away the key, but yeah, I do think that taking away their freedom in some circumstances to ensure that they can take care of themselves, um, yeah, I think it's important for society. I think it's important for kids. I think it's important given my own experiences and what I've
Yeah.
seen teenagers are capable of doing. And I hated those grounds that it's like I can do whatever I want. I feel like it's it's just not the place. Yeah, I don't think it's a good argument, I
Do you
guess is what
apply
I'm saying.
this to adults? Because I'm fully with
Yeah.
you if you're applying it to teenagers or people that you can reasonably expect will feel differently in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's okay to take away things that are necessarily harmful towards each individual adult if it's necessarily harmful. Now, again, I'm so pragmatic about this that
Yeah.
you have to recognize that in some cases, taking something away will actually lead to more harm. And if
Yeah.
that's the case, then it's like, okay, well, I'll just live with that. I'll just live with the society that, um, I mean, I drink.
Yeah.
I'm not an alcoholic, and I recognize that alcohol is a very dangerous substance that can really wreck a lot of people's lives. And if it were feasible, I would ban it. But we tried banning it, and it seems like people just drink moonshine, and they weren't able to regulate it, and it was way more fucking dangerous, and it caused people to go blind. And we're like,
Yeah.
shit, okay, you guys can go back to the normal stuff. I'm sorry. And I do think that that's the perspective that I like to have, where it's like, okay, well, what's best for society here? Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know, um, that
So
tends to
it's
be, yeah. Go ahead.
uh yeah, sorry to cut you off. I have a question because you say that you are willing to drink small amounts of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can tie this to like what I'm trying to justify, where it's like if because I don't think that any amount of alcohol is good. Do you
Okay.
disagree with that?
I don't think that's the case. I do think that
Okay.
well, certainly, I would say, the amount of alcohol that I drink, which is probably I've never even really gotten like sloshed. I've gotten
Yeah,
tipsy.
that's
And
good.
I'll probably drink once every few weeks or so, and like
Yeah.
really just with some buddies. I think that the harm being done is negligible for sure.
Okay.
Um, there's no way I'm getting like colon cancer from the amount of alcohol I'm ingesting. Um, but and also I've seen some things that like drinking a little bit of wine might be healthy, but I don't know. I don't have those studies off the top of my head. Um,
I'm also not sure. I've heard both that like that's we
sure,
used to think that was true and it's not true, and then that's but I'm not sure. I literally don't know. So
sure. I
I
would
agree it's
generally say
negligible.
that when it comes to negligible amounts of damage that you're doing, um, yeah, I mean, restricting that freedom seems like a way worse outcome. Like you're like, to me, you're also taking away like a lot of friendliness and community that I have.
Yeah, like
And like,
the fulfillment thing that I'm talking about. Yeah,
yeah,
that's like
yeah,
that is
yeah.
a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I genuinely get it when I'm drinking with my friends, and like I don't need it for alcohol, but it's nice. And like I would say, like, if we're weighing these two things, 6, 7, if we're weighing
Oh
these
yeah.
two things, um, I would probably say, it's better to, like, it's more okay that I drink that alcohol than like not get that social fulfillment that I get. Um,
I agree. Okay. Well, I don't know about your situation, but like I agree
No,
that
no,
that
no,
is
sure. And I
possible
think
and
most
happens. Yeah.
people live in this area, right? Like, I don't think I'm that, or I mean, I think most people do have gotten drunk, but not so consistently that it like is a problem.
Mhm.
So I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal over people. Like, I think that I would say that like 80% of America is where I'm at.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree
they
with
might
that.
be drinking a little bit more, but the distinction between me and them is marginal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the detriment to the health, how that weighs against
Yeah, they're
the
really
seven,
not
yeah,
doing real damage to their body, I don't think.
yeah.
And I'm not a doctor, so like don't
Obviously, yeah.
write that down, but yeah, yeah, that's what I would say. But yeah, you still have to recognize the genuine damage that alcoholics are doing to themselves
Mhm,
and to people around them. And I've dealt with alcoholics. I've never been one,
mhm.
thank God.
I
Um
have.
yeah, that sucks, and I'm sorry. Like, that's a miserable place to
Get over
be.
it.
Sure, sure. Sorry, I don't know
I
how.
mean, I shouldn't say that for other people, but like for
No, no,
me,
no,
I
sure. And
like to treat it that
I
way,
don't know
where I'm
how
like, eh,
helpful it is.
whatever.
I don't know how helpful it is for me to harp on it, but like, it does sound like a really
No,
debilitating
scary.
disease. And it's really hard from what I've seen. Um,
Yeah,
If we got to
the physical withdrawals are pretty bad with that one versus other drugs, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Anyway, it's all the cases of weighing pros and cons, of looking at incentives and seeing how we can best help other people. And I would say largely the reason why I'm a liberal is because I tend to think that freedom maximizes utility in people, but that is certainly not always the case.
Yeah,
There's a lot of situations, like I'll give a really quick example where we we limit the amount of um, ability that we have to affect politics because we're in a representative democracy. We're not in a direct democracy. I can't vote on the bill or on like
yeah.
whatever, any specific bill. I vote for a
Mhm.
representative, and that representative votes for a bill. It seems to be the case that that is a much more effective way to do policy, where we essentially vote on an expert, and then that expert can decide what's best for us. Even though that's essentially a limiting of our freedom, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm not the fact that I'm not able to vote for that bill limits my freedom, but I think that that's okay.
yeah. I
So
agree with that.
yeah, I guess this is all just to say I usually don't like the bodily autonomy argument or like personal freedom or like maximizing freedom. I just don't think that that's the metric that I usually tend to care about.
Okay. So I think that, man, it's weird for me because I started getting, this is like a, it's related. It's related. I
You're
started
good.
getting
Don't worry.
wrist
Go on.
pain.
I went on a bunch of different tangents.
So it's bullshit, whatever. So I've started feeling more like pain as I got older, and then I was like, damn, it stuff starts to really hurt. And then
Uh huh.
I was diagnosed with like carpal tunnel syndrome when I was younger. I so
Wow.
it's pretty bad. And I just
Yeah.
like live with it. And so I know that there's like a spectrum of like I know this is most likely only ever going to get worse as I live, and it
Mm.
already feels terrible.
Yeah.
Um, so then I imagine there being somebody who's like a fully fledged adult, they're sane, everything about them is, let's just say they're fully neurotypical, other
Okay.
than the fact that they are mega suicidal because they have chronic pain that makes their life unenjoyable,
Sure.
genuinely unenjoyable.
Yeah.
And you cannot reasonably expect this to get better.
Sure.
Um, so obviously we're not talking about like rules. I know that whenever you talk about like big philosophy things, there's like a difference between like what you would like do in like one situation versus like the big rule. But like in this situation, you would let that person do heroin, right?
Uh,
Or no?
Heroin is whatever the safest drug is that can alleviate um pain. I think that heroin
Okay.
seems crazy.
Yeah, I went for the craziest one. I was
No,
like, if
well,
this person is
hold on.
already, yeah,
We could probably fully subsist their pain with just like normal oxy. And like oxy's pretty hard already. I
yeah,
don't know why we're jumping to heroin. I would
because
probably say
because
heroin. No, why are we doing heroin? No, just
because
stick.
okay, my thought was this person is suicidal. So like this
Uh
is
huh.
I immediately
Oh,
want
let's
to jump
fucking
to
put
like,
them
are
on
you okay with this
heroin.
person
We all
killing
know that
themselves?
heroin's. We all know that people who take heroin are never suicidal, never destroy their lives. Um,
No, okay, this
do you
person
understand
has
my?
not ever done heroin before, ever,
I
ever.
understand.
Okay,
Okay, look, I've never done heroin. Okay, I'm not a big drug
me
user.
neither.
I will say that the horror stories that I've heard from heroin, I don't know if I've ever heard like a functional heroin addict. I've heard
But
of
the person
like
is already on death's door practically
how are they on death's door?
because they want to kill themselves because of their chronic pain
Hold
that
on,
cannot be
hold on,
alleviated
hold
with.
on.
Are you saying oxy would fix this?
We should probably start with the smallest dose and then see how they feel and then keep increasing it until they're
What if they've
okay.
done all that? What if they've done all that? They're
Okay, they've
dying.
done
They're
all
already
of it
dying.
and they're on. Wait, hold on. Okay, hold on.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I want to
I'm
because I
listening.
want to grapple with the hypothetical. You're telling me they tried oxy. They tried what's the classic? I don't know. What are like the big? I was given this one time and it was holy shit. It was crazy. I was on.
Hydrocodone?
No, it was I think it started with an M. Uh,
Fucking
it
morphine?
was used. It was used in Hunger Games drug. Hunger Games drug.
I don't remember Hunger Games.
Morphine.
Yeah,
Morphine.
yeah, morphine.
Dude, I was given morphine. Holy shit. It was because I was in surgery. And that shit hits. That shit feels so good. I'm so glad I'm not an addict because I would be chasing that high for a long time. I was
Yeah,
given it safely. They tried oxy, they tried morphine, they tried pot, they tried you run down the list.
yeah.
Sure. we can try heroin at a certain point, but I really don't think that that would be helpful. What
This
is?
isn't realistic. This isn't a realistic.
Well, then what's
I'm
the
saying
point of
the
asking?
point is to see if you would ever get to a point where you would say yes, it's okay for this person to kill themselves. That's the point. That's
Yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah,
ultimate
yeah.
autonomy
But
argument.
I would say that that point is much higher for me than other people. Um, I would there's this classic. My wife talks about this. I've read this book, so don't. Or sorry, I've not read this book. She has, so she was describing the plot. So if I get this plot wrong, blame her. Don't blame me. But I believe it was called. I think it was called Beloved. I might be mixing it up with another book, but it's about basically this slave. This slave, because I was telling this argument and she's like, is that really true? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. She's like, so in this book there's a slave and she has a daughter and then she runs away from their slave owners. And then she's running away and she's got this like 4-month-old daughter with her. And she can hear the slave owners in the background, okay? And she goes, fuck, they're going to get me and they're going to get my daughter and they're going to slave me and enslave my daughter, and she kills her
yeah,
daughter. It's this
yeah.
horrifying story. And my position is that is so empathy. I have so much sympathy for
I
that
agree.
situation, and I could not say how I would act because I've never been in a situation, and I might betray my own ethics.
Yeah,
And I want to say like I haven't lived that. I'm speaking from a privileged position as someone who has never been enslaved.
yeah.
Um, however, I don't think I I don't know if I would say it's not ethical, but I wouldn't kill that daughter. Or
Oh,
I think that would betray I think that would betray what it means to me to be human. And I think the
mhm, mhm.
idea that like slaves can't be happy or slaves um can't enjoy life and can't have a life worth living seems to be so it seems to discredit all of those people who lived and breathed and had a life. Now, should they not be slaves? Of course, right? Like, of course, of course, of course, of course. This doesn't get to justify enslaving them,
Yeah, obviously.
but um,
But you wouldn't like
clipped,
hit a button and
clipped.
be like, okay, I'd rather them die than be slaves. You think
Yeah,
that there's still some value in life,
yes,
even if you are
yes. And
enslaved. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
a big believer in uh, like the inherent joy of life. I think is
Yeah.
accessible to way more people than we think. And this is something that like really is like it's a passionate belief of mine because I've in a treatment center like I met kids who were, who were I don't know. I could talk about some real horror stories. Some real fucking like oh my god. And I've worked with them and I've dealt with them and I've talked to them and like joy is possible for them. Like the
Yeah.
idea that like we'll just kill people because they're not enjoying life. It's like hold on. There are situations in which you can be okay, in which you can be happy. And I will say like genuinely chronic pain is one of those like like a it's pretty close to like my threshold. Like
Yeah.
if
That's
it's
why I use that as an example. Yeah.
insurmountable, yeah, if it's insurmountable, like I've got a buddy who who's in my philosophy department, and he's the most nihilistic, like the most like he's like having babies is unethical because we're not like these people are thrown into the world unconsensually. He has chronic pain because he had I think he was in a car accident, and
Mhm.
his brain is like, dude, he has to wear sunglasses and he has to get like special permission. Like every class I've ever been in, the lights have been dimmed significantly because it'll just like
Mhm.
it'll break his brain.
Yeah.
He I have so much sympathy for him. And if he kills himself, I get it. Like I do
Yeah.
really get it. Like I'm not trying to say like I'm judging these people, but I am
Yeah.
saying
But if
like
you were in the
life
room and
is
you could
worth
prevent
living.
it, then you would step in between.
Yes, and I would say I would tell him like life is worth living. Like I know, and I know I'm speaking from a privileged place. I never had to deal
Yeah.
with that shit. But like yeah, I really don't I really believe in like human value inherently, and to me that is always the priority. And
Mhm, mhm.
it's never like, well, it's my choice. It's like, well,
Yeah.
if you are hurting yourself and depriving yourself of that joy, or hurting others and depriving themselves of joy, you don't get to do it. And
Yeah.
I like just to be super clear,
Yeah.
I tend to be a liberal on this stuff. I tend to think that we have the most joy when we are able to do the most amount of things. But there's a threshold to that.
Yeah. So I think that I it's like there have been different points in my life whenever I think that I basically was on exactly the same page if I'm understanding correctly. And like I would have also, and then I feel like I'm trying to, because I also have that feeling of like you're saying that you're utilitarian. So I'm
Hmm.
trying to think. So
I can explain that better if you want.
um I think I have an idea of what it means, but it would also be useful for you to
Sure.
explain it. 'Cause I
It's
think before I forget it.
it's basically explained. It's often explained as there are really only two things that human beings have, and it's pleasure and it's pain. And we should maximize pleasure and minimize pain.
Yes.
And that's really all we're doing here. I usually don't like the framing of pleasure and pain. I would probably call it joy and despair. But that's
Okay.
all we're trying to do is just maximize the amount of joy that we're having and minimize the amount of despair that we're all having. And whatever gets us there is what gets us there. And
Yeah.
like, and do the means justify the ends? Sure, yes. But I would probably say in most of the case when people say, well, the means justify the ends, you're talking about worse ends. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like
I agree. I'm not saying that heroin should be legal. Just to be clear, I don't
sure, no, no,
believe
no, no.
that. I'm not like gonna say that like anybody should be able to just like sign a paper and assist in suicide themselves right now today with no prior like I'm
Sure.
basically so like if
But I
chronic
would
pain is one of the only things where I'm like there's not very much of a
but I'm
future and there are tools where you can cope with it. Go ahead.
I might even take the position that heroin should be decriminalized. I don't know if you've ever heard the
Yeah.
distinction between those, but like I think that it's
Yeah,
good that we put people in rehab rather than jail. I don't know
I
how.
agree. I don't even know if I agree with jails existing. So yeah, I agree.
You don't believe in any jails
I said
existing?
I don't know. I said I
Okay,
don't
okay,
know.
okay. Well, here, what's the argument for?
Um,
Give me the thoughts. Like, what do we do with?
I've been to jail and I don't like it. So I think that the thing
I
that
don't think it's there to like.
I think that you can there's too much focus on punishment. I think if there's like
Okay,
focus on like
sure.
rehabilitation, whatever.
I agree
You
with
can make
that. Yeah,
nicer
yeah.
facilities is basically what I'm saying. Still lock people
Oh, well then
away,
sure.
but
That's not being against prisons then. That's being
I want them to have cell phones. I want them to
that's
have
fine.
access to lots of food. Like that's I don't
I
believe in a
agree.
bunch of the
I agree.
punishment things that other people do. Okay.
I agree. I think that
Most
this
people call that
punitive
not jail though.
approach.
Right?
No, but we're still locking them up if they're
True.
if you're a murderer, you get carted away from society. That's jail. And if and I think that we should the focus on punitive approach is very silly. Okay, um, I think that we should focus on rehabilitation. Or
Yeah.
if they're not, here's my hot take. Here's my hot take. Even if they're unrehabilitative, like if the oh shit, what's the called the even if we know that they can't be reintroduced into
Yeah.
society, I don't really care. Make their life
We can
good.
agree. Yeah.
Okay. Like no, no, yeah. If you even if they're unintegratable, if they
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
stay in jail for the rest of their life, make their life good. I don't care. Let's feed them some decent food. I mean, we don't have to spend a ton of money on them, but like this focus on like, well, we just have to treat them poorly and we have to beat them up every. It's like, calm down. Like,
Yeah.
calm down. They've already
Yeah.
been
I
moved away. They're not a
the sick
threat
shit, man.
anymore. Who cares? Like, they can live their life in peace until they die, and they're
Yeah.
away from me. So why do I care? Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
currently that's pretty easy to argue for just because like it costs a lot to kill somebody with the death penalty, but like I'm
yeah, yeah,
scared of the
yeah.
day when they make that cheap and they're
Sure.
gonna be like, I don't want my tax dollars to go to
I
these
do
people living
know.
nicely.
Yeah, I do know that a lot of a lot of the cost of the death penalty is like how often they need to be retried because we
Yeah.
make damn sure that they did it, and even then we're still a little wrong. We're still sometimes wrong.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, there's yeah. I don't know where I was going with that.
You're good. You were bringing up I think you were explaining utilitarianism to me and then you were
Sure, it's
using
just all
jail
it
as an
is
example. Yeah.
increasing joy, decreasing despair. That's it.
Mhm.
And I am
Okay,
like
so
a strict utilitarian. I think I'm pretty damn sure. I've heard a lot of arguments against, and I don't think they hold much weight. Um,
yeah.
yeah, but there's other types of ethical philosophies, and this is it's definitely like there's it's been heavily written about, and there's a lot of people who disagree with me. So you know, who knows? Maybe they're right. I don't think they are, but maybe.
Yeah. Most of my life, I think I've gravitated towards something that I would describe similarly, where I'm like, if if it makes people happier, that's good. I use like
Mm,
I feel like I've shifted at some point in my life. This is because I'm getting older. This is like I'm
mm,
getting bored, I'm getting older, and I'm like, I need to I've been like at home doing basically nothing but my favorite things for the past like 3 or 4 years since I've been married. And my life
mm,
was like shit before that. So it was like night and day.
mm-hmm.
And since my life has been good, um, I'm not like growing as much as a person.
Sure, sure.
Not having like experiences
Yeah. And
to grow from.
it's a huge conversation in utilitarian. It's very often the critics are like, "Oh, so we can just be hedonists," where it's just like just give in to every uh thought that we have in the
Yeah.
moment. And it's like, "Well, no, because short-term pleasure probably often sacrifices long-term pleasure."
Yeah.
And
I still want to be like I want the individual person to be in charge of like what sort of stress they induce on themselves that they can handle, but I still think like yeah, I should be allowed to like engage in things that are like yeah, that's why I say like fulfillment is like the thing instead of just joy because like I'm fulfilled by having arguments. Even though maybe in
yeah.
that moment I'm feeling like frustrated or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I have um I mean, okay. So do you disagree with my framework, I guess? Do you disagree with the utilitarian framework? Cuz I'll just give an I cuz I actually don't have a strong opinion on sex work.
Yeah.
But whatever. I'll just make a devil's advocate argument and I'm just
Sure.
curious how you respond. I don't know if I believe this. I don't think I do, but I might.
Okay.
Um there is such a um influx of people who essentially really don't leave their rooms or leave their
Yeah.
houses because sex has become so easy. And it's also we're sacrificing the difficult work of like having a romantic connection because we can just sort of like pull up images on our phone. I'm sorry about the audience who's watching who are just a bunch of gooners, but uh
Only some
sorry
of them are
sorry to
from like
chat.
most relationships.
I don't really okay, yeah. Um it's possible that the most effective way to allow these people to leave their rooms is to in some sense like criminalize sex work, but
Yeah.
probably not for the prostitutes who are very often um I don't know, maybe I'm thinking like old school prostitutes when obviously we're kind of in the
Yeah.
OnlyFans era, but
Yeah.
like very often subjugated. I mean,
Like a pimp. Yeah.
my wife worked in uh sex trafficking in Latin America. Like she dealt with a lot of that. Very often it's I would put the onus way more on the consumer than the producer, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yes.
So to some degrees make that illegal for the consumer. Um
Mhm.
I actually don't know where the line would be. I live in Utah, and
Yeah.
they actually banned you can't access Pornhub here. Or
Can't hear it either
oh, gotcha. Yeah.
in Florida. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Is that an overreach of government?
I definitely think it is. I so I can so you're saying that you don't fully whatever. I'm just gonna engage with it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm bad
Just
at
pretend I
this.
believe this. Just pretend I believe it.
So
I'm
okay.
saying that genuinely the problem it's very similar with alcohol. The issue
Yeah.
is not the small users. It's probably having a negligible effect on their life. However,
Yeah.
there are people who are addicted to porn.
Mhm, mhm.
We should probably find some way to target these extreme porn users rather than just sort of the ones who like the ones where it's very habit forming and they aren't able to leave their house
Yeah.
in order to make sure that they're leaving and integrating with society. Um, we should is it if we find a way to do that, would you think that that's okay?
Um, I I would want to see that the reason that they're not leaving the house has anything to do with the sex in the first place, and that that's not just like a that porn isn't just a thing that they're doing after already having whatever set of traits make it very easy for them to not leave the house. I understand that you might also be like, well, even if that's the case, like you can still make it easier for them to leave the house by putting
Yeah,
less like
that's gonna be my
alluring
position.
things in
Yeah,
front of them.
yeah. that like very often I will 100% concede that a lot of these people who are sort of trapped in this addiction, it's
Mhm.
because they're depressed or because they have a terrible outside life or
Yep.
because they don't want to engage with society. And sometimes they feel forced to do so. They don't really have a good community outside, whatever. But I mean, really, with the case with any addiction, it's like it is, in a sense, trapping you there
Yeah.
in your worst spot. I don't know.
Mm.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're okay. I'm thinking. Like I'll just say like the first things that I'm
Yeah,
thinking of.
yeah,
So,
go, totally.
uh, the first thing I'm thinking is that I usually generally disagree with the premise of people being very depressed in their bedroom, addicted to their computer type of thing. I usually try to like ask a little more question and be uh, like, is this what their fulfilled state looks like? Even though I know for a lot of people, like, I'm not denying that there is like a depression, basically. I don't know if you would call it an epidemic. Fucking people everywhere are definitely neats. Everybody's unemployed, neat, living with their parents at their computer. I know this is happening, but
What? Wait, what's your claim that everyone's depressed living in front of their computer?
I'm just saying that that is a thing that exists and that it's prevalent. I'm not denying that it's prevalent, but I think it's overstated.
I agree. Okay,
Um,
great. I fully agree. I think it's overstated as well. I think that very often we're on the internet and everyone's like, I'm stuck on my computer, and it's like there's a huge survivorship bias here because we're only
yeah,
talking to people on the internet.
yeah,
We're more likely to talk to people trapped in front of their computer.
yeah.
Um,
So I generally like
so
what
you
other
would
people would
disagree?
call like
Go ahead.
yeah, go
Sorry.
on. The thing that other people would call like computer addiction, most of the time that I have engaged with arguments like that, I would describe that person as being fulfilled and you don't have to change them. Um,
Really?
I don't know if we're thinking about the same types of situations, but
Mm,
yeah, a lot of the time, yeah, if the person themselves is saying I'm okay with the way I am and they don't have like physical like if there's like negligible physical stuff, I'm okay with people being sedentary, even though that's not the healthiest thing in the world.
sure.
Um, But if they need to see a
I
doctor and they're not going out of the house to see a doctor, obviously this is like a separate thing that
Sure,
um
sure. I'll really focus on the mental state.
okay.
Because yeah, I just that is so interesting because I do think I disagree. Like I just
Yeah.
and I will say this is fully subjective. This is fully
Yeah.
this is my experiences have fully colored this perception. So I could be very wrong on this and I'd be open to this being wrong. But um I don't know, I think of my brother-in-law who has really
Yeah.
been um ideologically captured. He's really been like he's like a QAnoner.
Right.
he was I mean he was fucking he was engaged in the Charlie Kirk assassination
Yeah.
conspiracies when I was sitting right there. And like thank God I
That's
was like,
painful.
huh?
That's painful.
Yeah, and it was like thank thank God the conspiracy somehow didn't include me. Do you know?
Yeah.
Sorry that I was yeah.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. Sorry for your audience. I was the guy debating Charlie Kirk at the time.
Yeah.
Um
I wouldn't make big deal out
but
of it, but
like
yeah, that's crazy that even he would say that around you. That's like
yeah,
I'm like
I
feeling
know,
up
and it was
from that. That's
wild. He
what
was
the
like
fuck.
throwing it in the group chat, and I was like, I really, it's like
God.
he has imprisoned himself, and the whole family is
Yeah.
largely conservative, and they hate him. Like
Yeah.
like every single time he's not there, they're like, God, what the hell is up with this guy? Like, when is he? And he's so burrowed in his little echo chamber that it's so difficult for him to have a conversation about anything other than politics. And without him getting really aggressive about it. I think that I don't know. I hate to be that boomer, but like I think the issue is our phone. I really do.
Yeah.
Like I think that we're so addicted to our phones and so addicted to that dopamine that we get when we just like
Yeah.
we interact or we feel like I don't know whatever. There's a lot of different points here, but I'm
Mhm.
very worried about people who are lashed onto their phone, and of course I am too, right? Like of course
Yeah.
I'm I'm speaking in whatever. You can call me a hypocrite. I think that that's okay, but um yeah, I really do think that like the issue for a lot of our mental health crises is our phone, and it makes so much sense to me that the
Yeah.
first thing that we do is at a treatment center is take away their phone, and they're not allowed to
Yeah.
have it. And you get to have an iPod with whatever music you want, but we have to download that shit.
That's
You
so
don't even get
nice.
Spotify. Like it's like you really because it's you just it's everything, and
Yeah.
like limited video game time, and it sucks because we're like essentially their parents and we're putting in these like hard boundaries and low
Mhm.
key. One of the huge reasons that I see kids in that treatment center is because the parents had porous boundaries and allowed them to just stay on video games as long as they want, and it's just that infinite rush of dopamine that they get whenever they want to hit it. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm concerned about our phones, and if we can implement some sort of regulation, I'm very in favor. Down here in Utah, uh, there's I think it's a law. It's a statewide law that says you can't have phones in the classroom, and
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
you put them in like a. I actually don't know how it works. I haven't been in a. I'm
I
studying
grew
to
up
be a.
having my phone in school. Oh my
I
god.
know, I know, it's
Oh,
crazy, and it's like
oh.
I'm glad. I'm glad. It's like, dude, we gotta learn how to
We do
interact with
need
each
something
other.
like that now because there's like a whole group of people that were here before the internet were, and like they have like skills that like
Yes.
we don't have. And like maybe if you deprive us for like 7 hours a day, maybe that's you might be
Yeah.
onto something. Where do
Yeah.
you draw the line? So
I
so
don't.
you
Yeah, and
when
I
do you
don't.
start taking things away? That's like how bad of a problem do you think this is? How because you would
The
agree that
answer
like
the
it's
answer is
beneficial to some
very
people.
the answer is very simple, and I hate to really just like do this, and I could speculate on what this means, but the answer is if it's effective or not. That's the line. The moment it stops being ineffective, the moment it stops being effective is the moment that I will stop advocating for it. And if I think that taking away someone's phone um, in the classroom has a negligible effect, or
Yeah,
um, like leads to worse outcomes because I doubt that that's the case, which is why I'm okay with it.
it sounds
Um,
okay. It sounds okay.
yeah, it sounds very reasonable, and really, I just have to use my own sort of you know logic, deduction, and personal experiences, and any studies that we can see to to figure this out. But yeah, it's a hard question where the line is, and I
Yeah.
don't I don't have a specific answer, and I can kind of speculate like what would be the next thing after taking away phones, like what would be the next what like because you said how far would I go, like what's the next thing on the
Well, when I meant how far would you go, what I meant was like how bad of a problem does it have to be before you start taking. So I'm thinking that like yes, the problem you're describing is real where people will have like their echo chamber, they'll get really and then they have like no outside opinions from that's like I agree this is a thing.
mm,
Obviously this doesn't happen to the majority of people. Um my feeling, I don't know, my feeling is that most this is gonna sound like so I feel like a
go
12
ahead,
year old.
you're
Freaking
fine, don't worry about it.
I think most people have fun on their phone and that it's good for them.
Do
I
you
don't
not
like algorithms. I don't
Sure,
like how algorithms have changed
sure.
as I've gotten older. I would change things there with like money incentive stuff, but the phone by itself, if including the dopamine rush, something like that. Like it's a I want to regulate things so that like misinformation can't like make money and be the most popular thing.
Sure.
But
But in terms of
but if
fun,
it's just
like,
slop, I'm fine with that. I
yeah,
think it's
I
okay.
guess I guess my question is, yeah, it is interesting. I think that most people would disagree with you. I think most people would say have yeah, like if you hand someone, I will definitely say that like I have kids. We have a pretty not like the most firm, but like in terms of like the screens or no screens. And again, it is easy because they're both. I have two kids under two, so like
Yeah,
they're not really watching a lot of movies. But we're largely no screens. And I
yeah.
think we all kind of know that it's probably good to not have screens. To just hand someone a kid and they go, "Holy shit, this is like," when he sees the
Yes,
television, he's like, "This
yes.
is the craziest thing I've ever seen." And he's hooked in. Like when he goes over to like we try to keep the TV off when he's around, but like when we go over to family, we don't really like we're not going to police everyone's
Yeah.
behavior. So the TV's on and he's latched. He's like, this is the it's just like baseball. It's like anything could be on that screen and he's fucking hooked. I am terrified of just giving into that all the time. And
Yeah.
like sure, again, low doses. Like I think that low doses are negligible and I
Mhm.
believe in low doses. I let my kid watch TV when he's sick or when
Yeah.
he's having a hard day for whatever reason, largely cuz he's sick. Um yeah, turn on the TV, make him feel good for it for a little bit. And then I don't know, but like I guess what I'm saying is like, man, there's
Mhm.
gotta be. Do you, do you think that there might be some long term harm with just like
I'm
being?
suspicious that there is, and I know that for some people there will be, and but usually the same thing where this thing that you're describing,
Mhm.
and I know that this is different from like I get shit for this. What other people will describe as the baby being brain rotted watching Coco Melon, I'm like, that baby is engaged. That baby is engaged. That baby's gonna be smarter than me
Stop!
at my age.
What are you talking
I believe
about?
that. Well, no, I have that feeling and I don't know if it's true. But like that's what I feel like. Yeah, I feel like whenever I'm consuming slop, whenever I'm brain rotting, I think that's like the most engaged and happy that I ever am. Yeah. And I think it's probably true for most other people and it's why we're all fucking doing it. Yeah. I think that
That's
you have to
crazy.
like do it deliberately. I don't think that you can just be
That's
like this. But
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think I'm being stimulated. I would use this word stimulated. Yeah.
yeah, and I think a constant influx of stimulation is probably bad for our mental load. Like it's probably a little too much. It's too easy to like just
I would put
constantly
caffeine in the
access
water
that
supply.
dopamine button.
I think it's good.
Do you worry? Do you
Yeah.
worry that we are becoming more how do I like not immune, what's the word? Numb to dopamine hits because we interact with them so often. And we're like just chasing that high that we once felt. I mean, you hear this from heroin addicts, right? And like
Yeah.
I will obviously say that heroin is worse than phones, even phones for babies. But
Yeah.
I do think that it kind of rings true that like heroin, I was just listening to actually Hunter Biden and someone else talk about
Love
heroin,
you.
and it was like, dude, it really is just like you're chasing that feeling and you're never going to get it again. And it's literally that your body adapts because we're so good at like normalizing whatever's like the human body is
Yeah.
so good at normalizing whatever is going on around us. And it just normalizes like that being injected into your veins and you go, "Okay, well, now this is my baseline. I
Yeah.
literally don't have an ability to feel happiness anymore." Because
Mhm.
like yeah, you can't beat heroin. That's
Yeah.
not like you just can't beat that happiness.
Yeah.
And you're completely cutting yourself off from any long-term happiness because when that becomes your baseline, nothing beats it. It's literally
Yeah.
just a button that says put as much dopamine as you can into my body. Like
And then now the threshold is up here, and then real
yeah,
life
you
for
can't.
everybody else is right here.
Yeah.
So then whenever you get better, it feels like shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reality is that when you shortcut this, there is your system, your bodily system is and whatever. I'm not a biologist. I'm speaking out of my ass. Maybe this is untrue,
That's
but
okay.
it feels like it's more complicated than just dopamine go up. That it feels like
Yeah.
what we're there's also some other drug there's some other things like human connection that can't really be replicated through drugs. That sort of happiness cannot be replicated through drugs. And when you cut yourself off from that, it seems like you become more depressed.
Yeah.
And I am very worried about kids in their cocoa melon hitting that button and just going dopamine go up. And when you are a baby, you are
Yeah.
way more susceptible to normalize that sort of behavior because it's literally all you know.
It is very worrying with babies. I wouldn't experiment, even though I feel
No, but
this
you
way. If
just
I had a baby
said,
in front of me and I was like, let me put the, I would not do that. I'm saying
but
that's
you
my
just said,
feeling and I'm
sure, sure, sure,
suspicious.
sure,
Okay.
sure. Okay.
Yes, the thing you're saying, am I
It's,
worried about that? I'm a bit worried. I'm just not as worried as everyone else.
that's
I'm
crazy.
just like, because I feel like heroin is like, and then
No,
Coco
I
Melon
agree,
is like, if you
obviously.
use your phone every single day from 0 months, 0 days, 0 seconds old, right there in the womb, Coco Melon's playing as you're
Okay.
coming out.
Look,
And you're doing that constantly. I still think that person, when they're an adult, is not going to be right.
okay.
Yeah,
I
possibly.
I just want to
That's what I feel like.
I just want to throw something out. My kid who is how old is he? He's a year and 8 months. He's 20 months, I think. No, 21 months. No, 20 months. He's okay. I'm okay. 20 months. I nailed it the first time. He's 20 months old. He's reading. Now, he's not reading. He's got books in front of him and he's looking at the pictures. And he's got,
Yeah.
when there's an elephant, he does an elephant sound because he knows that. I mean, he is pretty dumb. He does not really know what's going on. But he reads himself to bed every night. He grabs some of the books and he because he doesn't know what it's like to have a fucking screen that just
Yeah.
play because he would go to that immediately and then he would never sleep. But like the fat I don't know, like Doesn't I don't know how to explain it other than
It's
doesn't that feel
probably
better?
better, and if I had to bet money, I would bet that the way that you're doing it is better. You sound like a
Sure.
great parent.
Sure. No, and
But
I'm not trying to put myself up there. I'm just trying to say,
no,
and I
you're
also
good.
think most parents agree with me. I think most parents are trying to do it.
I
I'm not
agree with
trying to
that.
shit.
I agree with
I'm
that.
not trying to like go like, oh well, I know what the fuck is going. I think we see these pictures, these videos of parents constantly playing Coco Melon for their kids, and I
Yeah.
really think it's the outlier. I have a lot more faith in humanity than I think most people do, but or I need to, because if everyone's giving them their kids Coco Melon, I might have to kill myself. It's just like
I think I'm like 50% where I'm like, they give the kid Coco Melon sometimes when they're busy, but it's probably a daily thing, I think.
I don't. That feels extreme
You don't
even
think
for
so?
no. I don't think we're giving kids like on an iPad. No. How
I
old are
guess I
they?
haven't been around parents in a really
3?
fucking long
No.
time.
And like
Yeah,
I live in a little walkable city, and there's tons of parents around me, so I have
okay.
and like I don't know, maybe we're all ideologically predisposed to the same thing, but it feels like a random sampling of parents. I have
Yeah,
not seen a parent do that. And I've seen a lot of parents parent. And I've seen a lot of parents have terrible boundaries with their kids. I think that is the
yeah.
like but yeah, I think none of
I
us are
grew up
doing
in
the
Houston. I
Coco
think
Melon.
that's why it feels weird for me, yeah.
Sure. I think none of us are doing the Coco Melon in front of the iPad thing because we all know it's a terrible idea. And it's
I know we all have a feeling it is. I
yes,
agree with
that's the
that.
same thing. We're
Oh,
all
that's
having these like identical inclinations and instincts.
what do you mean by that? You can't possibly mean what I think you just said. What
What?
that feeling something is the same thing as knowing if it's true or
No,
not?
no, 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 no. But hold on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
Here's all I'm saying. Here's all I'm saying. First, I do think that we all have this inclination to believe
I
that
agree.
putting Cocomelon in front of a kid and an iPad and them just putting a blanket. I've seen a video and it's like it's helping them stim because they're slightly autistic and they put a fucking just a like a blanket over them and they just have Cocomelon and they're just. I'm like that is crazy. You are fucking that kid up, and they were getting blown up online. They took down their
Yeah.
video down real quick. It got spread like wildfire. Everyone was like, "Look at this fucking crazy parent." Because even
Yeah.
the people online and like the people online are more predisposed to be okay with that. Even the people
Yeah.
online are like, y'all, you cannot do that to a child.
Yeah.
I am saying that if we have that predisposition, it is more likely than not to produce better outcomes. And really, that's all I have because I don't have a study in front of me.
Yeah.
And especially when we're all sort of locked in on like this idea, because like a lot of people hear me say that and they're like, don't you know that we once allowed slavery? Slavery's kind of always been contentious. Slavery's
Yeah.
always kind of been like a lot of people have been like, what the fuck, what are we doing? And I'm like, I'm you look back in the 1800s and there are plenty of people who are going, this is not okay. And even like you go before the 1800s and it's like the idea of having chattel slavery is still a pretty novel idea, and a lot of countries aren't doing it. A lot of countries are doing a type of slavery, but it's like it's
Yeah.
far more okay. Not that there. I don't mean to put slavery in terms of like one is better than another, but one is better than another. And
Hey,
chattel slavery is kind of the
yeah.
worst you can get, where you just fucking
You can't get enslaved worse.
breed them. You breed
Yeah.
them. What the fuck? I think we all kind of knew that wasn't okay. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, there were some psychos, but even them, they were like 2% of the population, and most people were like, yeah, this is fucked, but we can't just like there is a whole business there. We can't just destroy that whole business. Like they
Yeah.
found other ways to justify slavery. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah.
No, you
Um,
are. But if research, I mean, I don't know. I already know the answer to this.
I
I'm
guess
sorry. If
when we're
research comes out that the cocomelon's good for the babies, you're gonna let them have it, right?
yeah. I would be
Okay, so it's
very
just
very
that you,
surprised,
you
and I
you're
would
really banking on this feeling.
yes, yeah, and I'm
I
banking
would
on the
too, to
feeling
be
because I
fair.
don't have anything else.
Because when you described that parent putting the, even though I've said all of this stuff so far
Yeah,
about
that's
like I think it's probably
fucking
helpful, I was about to
crazy.
call that child abuse. I was like,
Yeah,
ah,
I
oh,
know. It's like,
oh.
whoa. And I've seen like it's a genuine.
But
I
I'm like,
saw the
that's my
video.
biases. I need to actually think about it. Like I feel like you can't just stop there.
You can't
That's
stop there. No, no, no. I agree that you can't stop there. I do think that
okay.
it's
Okay,
okay to
we do agree.
acknowledge. I do think it's okay to acknowledge that when we have perpetual biases that it seems like almost every human agrees with, those are
Yeah,
probably good biases. Those have probably evolved because they have led to successful societies. That's going to be my moral anti-realist position there. Um, but
think I've ever thought about that.
what? Then like that's all
I
feelings
okay, I
are.
have this idea in my head of like I think about this thing that I in my head I call it like human nature. Like I think about that a lot where I'm like,
Mhm.
what do all the people have in common? What can I find that like all the people that don't have other things affecting them would have in common? And
Mhm.
then even people with like big things affecting them will still have that thing in common.
Yeah.
That's like a big human nature thing. Like I
Yeah.
try to think about things like that. I've never had this thought. The thing that you just said, where you're like, it's there for a reason and it helps people have good.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really is that
literally
true?
evolved in us. I look, people will disagree with this.
I don't
I'm
know a lot about history stuff, by the way.
You're okay. You can use your
Like at all.
intuitions and sort of wade through the conversation. I hate this. I sorry, not you,
Yeah.
but what you just said, where it's like you can engage with the conversations, and if I'm not making this accessible, sure, I have a degree in philosophy, right? Like I've taken classes on ethics, but I should be able to make this accessible to everyone. Like, and if
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not,
just
that's
letting you know that I don't have the prior knowledge that like maybe is even like a base level that other people
no,
would
but
be
just
at.
come
Where
swim
like,
out. Just come swim out.
okay, okay, okay,
tell me your
thank you.
thoughts. Yeah, yeah. Like, I,
Um,
I think academia and these types of conversations should be accessible to everyone. So I'm happy to explain certain terms or like admit where I don't even know either. But like, yeah, like,
yeah,
okay, I don't.
thank you. I feel very very seen and allowed
I
to
forget
talk
what I
as a
was.
high
Yeah,
school
I forget what I
dropout.
was saying. Yeah, sure.
Thank you. But yeah, the thing that you said was basically like
Oh,
that
evolution, right?
there's
That like, yeah, I would.
yeah, that it's like for like a reason. I usually push back against that. I'm really like I wasn't raised religious and I've never had thoughts like that
Sure.
things are here for a reason. So
Can
like I'm
I?
usually very against that, but then like it makes sense. It does make
Yeah,
sense.
can I throw out? Yeah, because
Yes.
there is a argument against this that I would actually, funnily enough, it sounds crazy, but I would agree with.
Okay.
Because a lot of people would say there's a lot of reasons as to why certain behaviors are stigmatized, right? For
Mhm.
example, racism, homophobia. Those are like two things that are obviously, I think, throughout most history, like we would even say like chattel slavery was kind of like was pretty contentious. I think homophobia was kind of always like a pretty normal behavior, and like so was
Yeah.
racism, like sexism as well. I
Yeah.
would say, and I really need you to like hear me out.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
No, I know,
I'm
but
trusting the process.
I could be clip farmed so easily on this. I think
No,
that
I'm listening so closely. I won't judge
racism
you.
racism, for example, makes a ton of sense evolutionarily. Where if you have a tribe and you're fighting against another tribe, being able to
Mhm.
quickly recognize who is in your tribe and who is not in your tribe is probably an extreme benefit that was actually really important for us to develop.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Was.
we was exactly. I would say we are now in a day and age where that racism
Mhm.
has become so much more unhelpful than helpful. We should probably recognize, or I don't even know if it's if we need to recognize it, but I recognize that it was a necessary thing that now humans don't need anymore because we're not fighting all the time anymore, and we're not. We have moved around so much so because transportation has become so effective that skin color is no longer even a metric of where we're from. Like
Yeah.
it's um the entire thing is like is just it's caveman brain. And caveman brain is was really effective to get us to where we are right now, but like that is different from what we need moving on from the future.
Yeah.
So I actually think that yeah, so I would say we should definitely be careful about what our instincts tell us, but recognize that they are probably evolutionarily helpful.
Okay.
And I would say the same thing about homophobia. Like, if when we create a stigma against people procreating in that way, they can't procreate. They can't make babies. So evolutionarily speaking, it makes sense that we're like we got like the societies that tended to ban that type of practice and denormalize that type of practice tended to create more kids. It seems that
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually don't know. This could be bullshit, and I don't know. It's just
They
speculation.
figured that it would happen that
I'm
way.
figuring. I'm figuring. Whatever. It's
Okay,
just
okay.
my mind. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I would say in this day and age, it seems to um that because it's like it's just not. It seems like we have the ability now to stop people from getting murdered and hit in the streets, and that's actually a really important thing now that
Yeah.
we can move on to like higher levels orders of thinking where it's like okay well we used to just care about can our society take over the previous society, and then like can our society thrive? Now it's like,
Yeah.
can we stop ourselves from being murdered in the streets? Can we stop ourselves from getting attacked, or even getting name called, or like yelled at in the streets?
Yeah.
If we can prevent that, we should. And that's now I'm like, homophobia seems bad now.
Yeah.
Not like I was like, sorry,
Guys.
homophobia has always been bad in my life, obviously. But I would find it really hard to tell a society 10,000 years ago that we shouldn't be
Yeah.
homophobic. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. They're like, okay, but that's a perfectly viable father right there. And he's
Yeah.
fucking another perfectly viable father. They need to go out and
That's
have
like in
sex
some
with
way
women.
inconsiderate to the
Even if
people around them in a weird way. Yeah.
yeah, even if they don't like it, they got to go do
Yeah.
it. And
I guess inconsiderate's the wrong word because it's like the future of the people. That's not like anybody around you, but like, yeah.
yeah. And it is. I think that framework is usually very helpful to some degree. Is recognizing and whatever. A lot of people disagree with me. Obviously,
Yeah.
I call myself a moral anti-realist, and this is because I think that it's very contingent on where you are situated in history. Like there is no objective lens that we could look through. We just have our own experiences. And so I would say slavery is bad, and I would say that homophobia is bad, and I would say um, a number of these things are bad. But it's possible that slavery exists because there was a successful society that found that they could be more productive by enslaving people.
Mhm, mhm.
Luckily, we've gotten to a point where we don't need that shit anymore. And now we
Yeah.
got to fucking toss that out because that is, and maybe we never needed it. I don't know. Obviously, evolution's messy. And
I
like
know
just
what you mean.
having
I
this
know what you mean.
clean, yeah. Anyway.
So okay, so I understand what you're saying. So do you think if I try to imagine that there's some like underlying thing that is like causing this to happen, it sounds like I can't it sounds fake to me. It sounds magical. Like I'm trying to think. So are you suggesting that that we should listen to our instinct that we don't like babies having the phones? Or that's what you think like
We should
maybe like
be
possibly
we should be aware.
because we couldn't have evolved. We didn't have phones. Like that's
No. Sure.
how do
Sure.
we
But there is a stigma against addiction. That like very
okay,
clearly,
yeah.
like
That's
hitting
true.
that
That's true.
dopamine drug just constantly, we all sort of recognize you're gonna fuck up your life if you do that. And like, yeah, sure, some people hit it anyway, but even they like,
Yeah.
I would say they still kind of know like, okay, I'm kind of making my life worse here if I just keep hitting this dopamine drug in my head. I'm not saying we have to listen to it. I think we should be aware of why that might be the case.
Yeah.
And I would say I
Okay.
don't have a better explanation for why it seems to be that we have this stigma against addiction, other than it does seem to like kind of fuck up societies and tends to fuck up people. And
Mhm.
like that, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And again, I'm very biased. Like I think a lot of people might just be saying that I'm just trying to normalize the feelings that I have in my head and just justify them in some way. And I
No.
might be. No, I might be. I genuinely might be. Like I would love
I
to
mean, you're
hear.
explaining yourself also, so it's like you're not saying like I definitely think it's this way. So
Sure,
yeah,
sure,
sometimes
sure.
like feelings, yeah.
Yeah,
Um
but it's just my inclination is seems bad to just keep pop 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 like that's
um
it's the infinite dopamine drug.
so I have uh this idea in my head. I don't know how it fits in with the other things. So
Mm.
I at least for myself, and yeah, I do judge other people like this too. If I start like feeling something and I can't explain why, I'm very quick to like toss that feeling away.
Sure, me too.
Um uh my husband taught me the word salience, and ever since then I've been
Hmm.
like, this is a salient feeling. I don't need it. It's going to fuck up my life. I'm not going to act on
Sure,
this.
sure.
Um
I hear that, and it, yeah, this is a good counter
the
to what
phone
I'm
thing
saying.
feels like that to me. That's why.
Sure, I hear that. That's a. I agree. Oh man, now you've got me spinning.
And we just need research. That's it. Gotta wait for the
Yeah.
case to get
Yeah,
rotted
no.
more.
But it's a good question about because I do agree with you that like no. Actually, I don't know. Okay, here's my actual belief. Here's my actual belief. I think very often I get a feeling and I'm like, why do I feel this? It's like I'm mad at my whatever. My wife does something pretty reasonable and I go, fuck her, you know? I think that. And then I go, why do I think that? Why am I mad at her? What the hell? And I throw it away. However, I do think what I should probably be doing is going, I'm probably not mad at her for that because that makes no sense. But there is probably something lurking down that I really haven't fleshed out or
Yeah.
gone to be able to talk about. And this is probably coming from somewhere. I might be misidentifying it. I misidentify shit all the time. Humans do all the time. But I do think that all of our feelings probably are coming from some unlistened to part of our emotions or our being or whatever. So,
Wow. That's interesting to consider. I don't live like that at all. I live
sure.
the opposite of that,
Oh,
completely
where if you
opposite.
go, if I can't think
I
it,
say, I'm
it's
irritable.
fine.
That's stupid. That's I need to get over this. How do I make myself happy? Oh God. Yeah.
And then you go click, 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 click. Dopamine
Yes.
rush. Sure.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I
still
tend
I
to.
do take time to like think about if there could be something, but then most of the time, like I write in a diary when I'm upset.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and then I'll think like what I do during that is I'm like just getting everything out and then I'll go skim over it and then see like do these things seem like they're real or does this
So
read like a teenager that's just upset?
sure, but do you ever feel like I'm not saying it's like sometimes the misidentification isn't even that I'm mad at my wife. It's that I'm
Yeah.
mad at something else, right? Or
Yeah, yeah.
like do you ever feel like are you saying that you genuinely just like you feel frustrated and then you just like if you can't find it um do you, so you don't resonate with this that like it's probably coming from some frustration that you
The
have
word
like
probably no, no, I don't resonate with that at all. But also I was gonna say
okay
art I don't want to ask about your like medical
you're
shit, but
fine
like
don't worry about
I'm
it
not neurotypical at all.
uh-huh
I've been like dealing with OCD my whole life. So then
mm-hmm.
like for me, I'm like I figure for somebody that's not as mentally ill, maybe it's easier to rely on
I was diagnosed I was told okay
yeah,
let me be really clear about the facts and how I identify myself. I'm a
yeah,
big not to label myself, I'm a big anti-label guy. That's the
yeah.
label that I give myself. I don't know if you've ever seen that Tommy Lahren quote where she
No.
goes, I'm a millennial, which means we hate labels. And he's like, what the
Oh.
fuck? um, I really find labels generally unhelpful. I
Mhm,
will say that I was diagnosed with autism,
mhm.
but it wasn't even like a full diagnosis. I was told by my psychologist that I likely was, but we never really did
Yeah,
the like big test. We just sort of like went through sessions like I was. And then I've
yeah,
gotten to a point where I feel like the problems that I was trying to fix that I went to therapy for, and that the diagnosis for autism was helpful for, are no longer a problem. So I don't
yeah,
identify with myself as autistic. I think
yeah. 'Cause
it
that's
tends
usually
to
pretty prevalent. Yeah.
yeah, it tends to boxes me in when I don't need that box anymore. Like the box I
Yeah.
needed was very necessary because I was having seizures a lot and
Yeah.
like dealing with that because they were psychogenic. So it was like clearly something emotional or mental is happening and that diagnosis really helped me deal with what was going on mentally. But I figured myself out. I feel
Yeah.
way more okay emotionally. So I can sort of toss away that label because I don't find it helpful anymore.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, yeah, you asked me if I was
I
autistic.
relate to that in some ways. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like
Uh,
where is your baseline that you feel like you can trust your feelings to like mean something because I feel like that's probably just this might be a me thing. This might be like a
mm.
I for me to learn how to live and to be more in touch with reality. It is just usually true that my feelings are coming from some place if like something's wrong with my body. Um like I don't know
Like
how to put
what?
it
Like
other
what do
than
you
that.
mean?
Like
Because that to me that just sounds like you're finding another place where it came from. If that makes sense.
yeah. No, okay. So you would include that. You'd be like I need to identify the cause. Okay, it's my the whatever shit makes me irritable again. That's like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
okay.
Sometimes it's like I didn't eat, and that's why
Okay, then
I'm
I agree.
mad. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, wait, I agree. Okay, then I
yeah,
fully
yeah, yeah.
agree. I don't
There's
just ignore
always
when I feel a feeling. That's like
yeah,
important to address. Okay.
there's something going on here. Like there is. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
and I don't know if rarely is the right word. But like definitely you have to investigate it to find out if that's the case.
yeah.
But yeah. But yeah,
Okay,
no,
I think I do
I
agree with
do
all that.
agree with this. Like, and like and very often I'm so analytic about this. Um, like my wife listens to me talk about my feelings and she's like, "What the fuck are you talking? Like that is not how I feel things at all." But like if I'm frustrated, I like feel that frustration and I feel like I can distance myself from it and then I like
Yeah,
prod it and I go, "What the fuck is this?" And then I can
yeah,
figure it out before it really like envelops me.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and that took a long time to get. Like I do think that yeah, that's a skill for sure.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, I think that's important and good, I guess.
yeah. I'm trying to think. How do we get here? Where do we bring this from?
Yeah. Um, let's see. We were talking about I don't
I'm
know.
trying to think. So you, okay? So I, there was a point of contention earlier whenever you were talking about, yeah, this is how we got to the fun thing. Okay, okay.
Oh, right, right,
So
right. Because I was saying we should probably investigate why it's the case that we think that phones are so destructible and or
yeah,
sorry, so dangerous, and you're like, sure, well that's just a feeling, we should still investigate it. I agree
yeah,
with you, but when I investigate it, it seems like what makes sense the most to me is that we're against this idea of addiction, especially for children, that like they are the most susceptible. Like there's a huge reason, there's a crazy stigma, sorry, not crazy, I agree with this stigma of like not giving like drugs to children. Like
yeah.
that's like a big no
When you
no.
say drugs, you mean not by the doctor, or you mean
Yeah,
including
yeah,
the doctor?
obviously, but honestly, even like there is still that like we still have that emotional fear. Like my
Yeah,
brother gets
yeah,
mad at me because I give Tylenol to my kids, and it's like infants Tylenol, and he's like still like freaking out. And like
yeah,
in some ways, I think he's being stupid, but in other ways, it's like it does make sense where you're this tense about
yeah.
like accidentally addicting your kid that like that does come out um because we,
Does
we
Tylenol
have
have
reason.
addictive properties?
No, I mean no. It doesn't.
I'm sorry, I'm listening. I'm
But
sorry.
he's just like, no, 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 no. It was a good question because like
Yeah, yeah,
my it's just my brother's like we can't give him anything. Like we can't give him anything other than like whatever,
yeah.
whatever. Um, yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm trying to remember if this is actually that because I don't want to say it and then it's a lie. But I think there was a big point for me where I was like, oh my god, maybe things that I know are wrong. Holy shit!
Was
And
it
it pushed
the
me more in this direction.
evolution thing?
No, 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 not in this conversation. I mean,
Oh, okay,
like
okay, okay. Got it.
just in the past few years.
Sure.
I don't want to. I'm bad at. Like I don't. Okay, it's not
You're
steady. I don't
fine.
fucking know. I trust my husband to parse through these things. He's the
Sure.
college educated one. I'm not. I
Sure.
shouldn't be like this.
Sure.
I shouldn't be like this. I'm big. I'm big. I was the
Hell
person reading
yeah.
the thing.
You got
So
this.
it was about caffeine.
Okay.
Um, and I was so I drink soda. I take caffeine
Mhm.
pills sometimes. It's like a like I before just accepted like this is advice for me. Feels good. I like the results of it. I like it. I'm going to do it. I
Mhm.
understand that this is going to have negative impacts on my body later on in life or something like that.
Okay.
Um,
Does
so
it? Would it?
uh yeah, less
Okay.
than I thought though, and that there are
Yeah,
more
I think
benefits than I thought. And
I
I was
think
like, what the fuck?
I think
Yeah,
caffeine's okay. Like I don't think that you're I mean, you might get addicted like how do I say this? Addiction
yeah.
is certainly like I feel like I'm talking too much. I don't know. My brother, I'll
You're
just say
not
this.
at all. You're not.
Okay.
I love it. You're good.
My brother is bipolar and
Yeah,
he takes medication that he kind of knows he has to take for the rest of his life.
yeah.
And some might call that addiction. And to those people I call it stupid.
I mean,
Well, or like even if he was addicted,
it's
it's like
good to be
yeah, but
addicted to
it's
that thing for
like
him.
he's so much better off. He's so
Yeah,
much more okay. He's so much more stable. He is like able to resonate and like I've seen it. I've only seen him once where like the pharmacist fucked up his medication.
yeah,
I forgot I had this um I forgot that I could see my brother as this, and
yeah,
he was treating his daughter like shit, and he was yelling, and we
yeah,
were like, "What the fuck is going?" And it's yeah. Anyway, he
yeah,
he's got to. We all know he's going to be on that pill for the rest of his life, and we're all okay with it because he's better off this way.
yeah,
Again, it's just that utility thing. Like I would
yeah,
I would bet that sometimes being on caffeine for the rest of your life has marginal downsides. I would also say it's probably got marginal benefits, but like depends on the
Yeah.
person. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that to me is like it's like I don't know 6 7.
True, true.
I'm trying to be a teacher. I'm studying.
Yeah, so okay, I'm glad that you brought up the addiction thing because as soon as you started going in there, I was gonna say, yeah, but yeah. Okay, so you get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
So
like
yeah,
so
I just want to weigh the benefits of it to the
exactly, and
how bad is it when people are addicted to it? Yeah.
that's the utilitarian calculus. That's like the pros versus cons. Let's figure
Yeah.
it out, and if the pros outweigh, then let's do it. Like I
That's why I said I have a feeling we should just be putting caffeine in the water supply.
That's
Um
crazy. Not everyone
I
needs that caffeine. What?
if okay,
Hold on.
I'm not
My
I
kid
don't
should
know.
not have that.
I'm not going to be the one to do it. I'm just saying that I have a feeling and I wouldn't be surprised if more
That's
stuff came out during my
crazy.
life.
Hold
Back that
on.
up. Yeah.
Caffeine does help a lot of people with organizing their life, getting up early. Like
Like
I'm
brain
gonna
development stuff is like the part that I'm focused on. That's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
that's
gonna
a
be
big
a math
deal.
teacher. I'm shit at waking up in the morning. Coffee is necessary. My Mormon mom does not like that. But
Yeah.
coffee is necessary. Um okay, like not everyone some people have no problem getting up. We probably shouldn't be injecting caffeine into their lives. They're functioning well without it. Now suddenly they're like fucking more alert than they're like they like they're all jittery. They can't figure out
Is
why
this
they
like an
are.
autonomy thing or like a benefit thing?
It's a benefit thing. They can't
Oh.
fucking they're not good at
Like the
dealing with
tiny no,
life
I'm
with
not saying a whole coffee for everybody a day. I'm
so
just
then what's
saying
the
that if you could
benefit?
show me
I if it's a if it's
brain
a
development, brain development.
what do you
I'm
mean by
so
that?
obsessed with the stimulation idea. That's why I
What do
think
you
the phone might be
mean? What do you mean?
I think if your brain is engaged with things and active, then it's good, and that you're more likely to be engaged with more things if you have
have
just a little bit of caffeine.
have you heard of a developmental disorder, a mental illness one might say, known as ADHD, where you are too focused on shit that you genuinely cannot function in the real world?
I live with that.
Yeah, and you need fucking medication to tamper it a little bit. Is that it? That you're just here's what it is. I found out what
Me,
Roxy.
okay, I'm not saying everybody else should take the
No,
amount
I
of
found
caffeine
out.
that I
I
take.
found out what it is.
Yes, I'm treating my
It's
ADHD
that
with caffeine. Yes.
yeah, I found out what it is. It's that you don't want to take your Adderall and you want to justify it, and
I
you're like,
love Adderall. I love Adderall. I love Adderall. They won't. I need to go to the doctor. I do. It's whatever. I don't. I'm not even talking about that with you, bitch. That's not.
okay,
That's
okay,
not. Okay.
no, but this is it. This is it. We found it. Um, it's that you feel like you need
I think
caffeine to
everybody
function.
should have Adderall. That's actually where I'm at. Not
That's
literally.
crazy.
Like
Ever?
kinda.
Oh shit. Okay, you are pissing me off. You are. That is crazy.
I'm exaggerating. I'm
Okay,
exaggerating, but that I do have a feeling that is like
my
kind of like
wife,
that.
my wife has ADHD and she takes Adderall every day. Her fucking brain melts if she can't get access to that. She cannot. I've
Yes.
seen her non-functional. That is not how most people are. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
like put you guys in a different category. Like you're like whatever. A lot of people suffer with ADHD. It sucks. It's super dealable. Like
Yeah.
it's fine. But like I
It is a
do
different
not
mode
need that
entirely.
shit in my brain because I don't need that shit in my brain.
Do you think that taking Adderall is going to make you feel like you have symptoms of ADHD? Is that what you're describing?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Well, hold on. I have taken it. When I was
Oh,
studying for
okay.
a
That's
test.
interesting.
Yeah, and I very clearly, yeah, it. Holy shit, that is a.
How did it feel? Did you get
Just
work
like
done or no?
yes, but because I got a lot of advice about just like you really gotta stick to your homework and you gotta start doing your homework and you gotta push through your homework. It is a non-functional way to live. I could not live like that. It is
You didn't feel like you could choose.
yeah. Not everyone has your brain chemistry, Roxy.
I'm okay. I've always thought that this is a myth. That's why I'm like asking you more because I'm like, is this real? Because I don't think you would lie or make this up. But then most people that I've talked to that say
It
this,
was
I'm like, I don't fucking believe you that
it was
ADHD happens to that it does the opposite thing to you. That always sounds like mythical to me, but like you're describing.
yeah. It was extremely.
That's how I am sober.
It was extremely. I was extremely good at doing my homework, and then I stayed up for like 3 hours longer than I should have, and
Yeah.
like I just like I didn't know what to fucking do. Like I was like
Ah,
looking at like I was like what the there's there like it was crazy.
you
I can't
debate.
do it. Like I just I I can't live like that. I need to go to
Yeah.
sleep, dude. Like it was like my brain is active enough. I don't need that
Yeah.
extra level where I go like I start looking at like the walls for like the pores in the walls. I'm like maybe I could count this. Would that be productive? It feels
No,
productive. You know, like I wasn't that crazy, but like I felt that inclination. You know, like I just
this
I
is
can't
such
live
a.
like that.
I feel like the thing that I'm thinking right now is so like I should have known this like 5 years ago when I started taking my ADHD so seriously. I feel like I'm just now realizing like, wow, those meds really work for me in a way that they don't for everybody else. Holy because I feel like I see like normal. I don't know. I don't want to say normal. I don't know how many people have ADHD. How many people are like, I was like, whatever. But like, I know that I'm living on a different mode of life than people that
Yeah,
are able to execute this 9 to 5 thing. I know. It's
sure.
always been like that my whole life. And the other people seem like they're able to go through the motions a little
Yeah,
easier and that they're a
yeah.
little more reliable. And then they take Adderall, and then they have the same. They're just like, yeah, I got all my shit done, and I got more work done because I was awake for more
Yeah,
hours.
but it's
And I'm like, bitch, why do you just get to take the extra drug and then I'm broken by default, and
no,
then I
sure.
have
And
to
you're
take that to get normal?
no, but here's yeah, and what you're missing is because I understand your inclination where you're like, okay, well, why don't you just take that extra drug and then you get more work done? Like, why don't you just
Yes,
keep
yes,
doing that? But it is a
increases mood.
non-functional way to
Yes,
live. It's crazy. Like I get so distracted. Like I'm like, you know, I could feel like
it really does that to you. How much did you
thank God I'm
take? What
doing.
dose?
I don't know. It was whatever my wife takes. I don't
Normal.
know.
Okay.
It
Was
was
it? I'm sorry if you.
I
Was
don't
it
know.
extended release?
I don't know.
That's it's okay. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on that. But yeah,
I
like
believe you though. That's damn. I've heard
it's
people say that my whole life, and
it's
I didn't
just
really think
like
about it.
you can't live in that mode. It's like being
Yeah.
high. It's like is being high fun? Sure. Do I want to be high all the time? Are you fuck I got to live a life. I can't
I
stumble to
didn't
work
know
like
that. Okay,
that.
so
I got to do things. I
I
enjoy being
relate this to
high.
like a remote control where it's like having like executive function is like having like a remote control where you can like choose what you do. And mine is always hitting random buttons. And I have to like
Yeah.
put a lot of force into like making it. I have to like set my life up in a way where it literally has to make it go the way that
It's
it's supposed to.
it
That's
sounds
like,
like it sounds like we have different brain chemistries.
but the drug though, the drug is the. I didn't know it could affect people that differently. That's. Is this real? Does it?
Hold on. You've been told this your whole life, and you're just like, I know better.
By dumb people. By dumb. I grew up in Texas, and all
Who?
my
What
friends
are
were
you
doing like
talking
hella
about?
drugs.
What are you talking about? Who? Name one fucking expert who's like, we should put caffeine in the water.
No, 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 no. I'm not. I'm
We
not
should
saying.
we should put Adderall. We should just give Adderall to everyone.
Okay, I need
Everyone's
to admit,
concerned
I'm
about.
ripping off of a Northern Lion joke. He made a joke like 2 weeks ago that was something along the lines of like we should put Vyvanse in the water supply, and I was like, I literally had this thought like kind of organically like before when I read that thing about caffeine, and I was like, if it really does increase brain, because if you can give a pregnant woman omega 3 to make the baby's brain grow better, you should. Every pregnant woman
I
should take
agree.
omega 3. Every pregnant woman.
I
So that's
agree.
why I'm like, maybe they should all have like 1 milligram of caffeine. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, why not
If
just put omega 3 in the blood? Which do we? Do we have that in tap water? I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I would bet that if we don't have it in the tap water, it's because other people don't need that shit. And
Maybe it does work like that.
we
Maybe
could
it does
just
work
sell
like that.
pills that say if you're pregnant, take this, and then everyone else can avoid it and continue living their lives.
You're so utilitarian, it'll fucking lead to better outcomes if everybody is given the thing. There's not even a chance. There's not even a chance that they don't, because
There's no
there's not like
hold
a
on.
harm.
We've done
But
study. There's no way. Wait, hold on. You can absolutely get. You can take too many vitamins for sure.
yes, you can. You can. I'm saying the amount
Are you
that.
talking about
Wait,
omega
what are we
three
talking
or
about?
Vyvanse?
I'm talking about omega 3 first of all. But then are we still talking
I
about
would bet
the
that.
water supply thing was never that. It's
I
like
would bet
10%
that.
too.
I would bet that it's either one of two things. It's either one, it would actually be somewhat harmful to me if I took omega 3s, or two, it would be very costly to put it in the water supply.
Okay, I'm not talking about for you. I'm not. I'm
No, but we
saying
are because I'm not pregnant.
pregnant, I'm not saying that we should put things in the water supply for the pregnant people. I'm saying that by
No,
default,
no, no, no.
whenever you're pregnant and you go into the doctor's office, they're like, you have options for blah, 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 blah.
I no,
And
no,
I
no.
don't think it should be told like that. I should think it should be like, if this increases your, eat that fish pill so that your baby's brain grows. It should
You,
just be like that.
you're just talking to the wrong doctors. There are some doctors that have to be skeptical about that shit because they go, well, some mothers are gonna literally kill,
Yeah.
or they're literally gonna stab you in the face if you say we should give this vaccine to your child. Like
Yeah.
that's just a Like I've dealt with a lot of nurses, and a lot of them were very cagey, and like you have to be very like, hey, I think we're kind of comfortable with whatever you guys say. They go, thank God,
Yeah.
here's what you do, right? And they really just give you the shit, and we just go, okay,
You
great.
don't think that's top down? You don't think that like, I think that's one
It
of the,
could be like some nurses are um. I think that you usually get a vibe of those nurses, and the nurses get a vibe of you, and they don't want to deal with you, and we don't want to
yeah.
deal with them, and then we find a nurse. There's the kooky nurse who says that we should get the MMR vaccine. That one I'll
No,
deal
I
with.
mean, when I say top down, I mean like is like I'm thinking that the people that have these anti-vax beliefs would be less likely to have them if doctors were a little more militant. I know that you're saying that they would have the
What do you
opposite reaction,
mean?
that they would be like, no, no, these doctors are untrustworthy. They're fucking trying to vaccinate my kid. I think that
Yeah.
if there was less pussyfooting, then maybe it would lead to better.
No way.
You
You
don't
were
believe
saying
so?
if doctors were
Yes.
wait, hold on. You're
Yes.
saying if doctors were more clear about the stipulations on what would be better for vaccines, we would see less
I
anti-vax.
don't know. What wait,
That
what do you
feels
mean by that? I'm saying if when I say more clear, I no, I'm saying if they're more like
assertive.
yes, 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 yes.
That's
Like they don't leave it like as a you're allowed to believe whatever you want. And I know we're in America. I know we're supposed to. I know it's
you're
just
hold on. You are where do you live? Florida?
I
You are
live in Florida. I grew up in Texas. I grew up
you
in
are
Houston, Texas.
I don't know how to explain this. Maybe Houston is pretty blue. I don't know.
It
You are
is.
delusional about
Right.
the average fucking mother, Republican ass mother. Not like deep Republican, but like
Yeah.
normal ass mother. They are so fucking protective over their kid where if they feel like the doctor is asserting control over them, they will flip the fuck out. Doctors have
Yeah.
learned how to like because if doctors are more assertive, then the mother withdraws and goes, "The doctor is telling me what to do." Like the doctor
Yeah.
is like he's like taking control of my baby. He's like they're so like
You think it's always been like this? Obviously, it's worse
yes.
now, but like, you think it's always been like this?
I think it evolutionarily makes a lot of sense to be protective over your baby and to not stab your baby with a bunch of things. I think that most mothers are against that because largely speaking, historically speaking, it has been bad for random men you haven't really met to come in and stab your child and then leave and then you never see him again. That there's a reason why mothers tend to
It's
not
like
like that. Yeah. And
okay,
that's
most
kind
of
of
the
always
time
been
that
the
you're
case.
deciding to vaccinate your kid, that's not what's happening in front of you. Like
Yes,
that's
it is. What are you talking?
that you're deciding to like I'm talking about leading up to the pregnancy being like talking with the father, are we going to vaccinate this kid or not, and then it gets to the point and then I'm saying that like the conversations leading up, the actual amount of time that you're in the room with the baby and the shot is happening and then the baby's bleeding is like that's less than a day, and then everything else that you're thinking about is like a lot longer than that. That's what I mean by that. And that there's like I
Okay.
don't think it's just a gut reaction to seeing your baby like have this thing, or maybe even thinking
No, but
about
it's
that
the
being like
okay. Wait, why not? What do you think the justification is the doctors aren't being assertive enough? Where they feel like it's like,
no, no, no,
oh,
wait. You're jumping around. Hold on, wait. I want to stay on that for a
okay,
second.
go
So,
ahead. Sorry, I don't know
I
what you're
no, you're
saying.
good.
Then restate
You're
what
good.
you
You're
were
good.
saying.
So, just then I was trying to point out that like the decision is already pretty detached in the first place. So I think it should be easy enough. And yeah, you're right. Maybe I grew up in like a one of the biggest cities in the U.S. Like this is like,
Where they
but I
trust
also
doctors.
yes. Okay, so yes, this is the thing. So my like feeling, which obviously I grew up in Houston and then I isolated. This is like that's I
Uh-huh.
don't know much else. I lived in small towns for brief periods of time and then I have judgments about that and then that's like but I feel like even there's like a prevalent idea of like people don't even if they want to be distrustful of doctors, they don't have a lot of places that they even get their information in the first place other than school and doctor. So then I'm like, these are really important places that it seems like people, even when they're trying to distrust
Sure.
it, they still on some level trust it because they
I'm
have to.
I'm gonna say two things.
Yeah.
One, I think well, so I think mothers get their information from not just school and doctors. I think mothers get it largely, actually more than schools and doctors. And I'm gonna paint with a broad brush. Obviously, not every mother's like this. Actually, I would say most mothers vaccinate their children for sure. And I live in Utah, and you can see our vaccination rates. They're not great, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're over 50%.
Mhm.
I think a lot of mothers get it from the the constant um one, their instincts, right? Mother's
Yeah.
instincts. And like that has been reified and reinforced because every single mother goes, you know best as a mother, right? Like that's what they just keep telling themselves. And also from the mother above them. You
Yeah.
like my sister-in-law puts fucking like she cracks eggs on her uh
A
baby's
forehead.
forehead. Yeah. And like lets it drip. I don't know exactly what the hell it is, but she's like,
To keep the
yeah,
something away
maybe it's
or
a
to keep them from
maybe it's
getting
a
sick.
Latin American thing. She's from Latin
Mhm.
America, and like, yeah, that shit. It's just like, well, that's what my mom told me, and that's what's
Yep.
true because that's. And it's like, where the fuck? What doctor is telling you to do that? Where did you learn that in school? You and I both know that she just fucking heard that from her mother, and that feels right enough to her
Yeah.
that she goes, I would rather put an egg on my baby than a needle in my baby,
Yeah.
and yeah, that intuition, like I said, it comes from a place, right? It comes from I I would like my baby to not be poked. It's actually probably a good instinct. But when you don't question your instincts, they translate into don't vaccinate our children. And also I don't
Yeah.
trust the medical authority because there's stories that like they take away babies. You know what I'm
You don't
saying?
think that the stories of the things that we're vaccinating against are larger in these people's head where they're like, I would never let my baby get X, Y, and Z.
No, no, it's
No?
so I and like it depends on the culture that you're in,
Yeah.
obviously.
Because I'm
Like
not used to being around that. That's
no, no, no,
crazy.
no. Yeah, and I'm saying these people 100% exist. They are my in-laws. They
Mhm,
are
mhm,
they are like I have a sister-in-law who has not vaccinated any of her children. And
mhm.
it is crazy. It's like
Yeah.
what the fuck? And I try talking to her. Believe me, I try to change her
Yeah.
mind. She's pretty damn locked in. Like it's
Yeah.
really hard to push her away.
That's a pretty
Um
radical decision to make. Yeah. It's,
yeah. She got there like through very strong. And
yeah.
yeah, I would say she's largely an anomaly. I would say that like if parents are concerned, largely really the thing that they do is just like sort of sparse out the vaccinations. Like if they're uncomfortable with it, it's largely just because they're getting like two or three in a day, and
Yeah.
and also like even doctors don't usually recommend that they get a lot in a day, but whatever. Sometimes you miss an appointment and the doctor's like it's okay, but like maybe we shouldn't. And the mother's like let's not do it. Let's let's do like one today, and then
Yeah.
I'll come back in a month. Those are a different type of mother. There's the other type of mother who just goes, we need to be distrustful of government. We need to be distrustful of doctors and science. And, they tend to be very conservative leaning because
Mhm.
you kind of have to be if you're conservative because,
Yeah.
to be pro science is usually to have somewhat of a progressive leaning. Um,
Yeah. I feel like I grew up with so many, my idea of a conservative mind, like Houston
mhm.
idea is like they'll bully you into going to college and they'll be like, you're a fucking failure if you don't become a doctor. That's like, I'm so used to being around people like this that like, and will be
Interesting.
like, I'm logical. Even though they still have their weird anti medical stances
Sure.
sometimes,
Sure.
but they'll be like, obviously, I trust the doctor.
Yeah.
I'm basically a doctor. Like, I'm
And
used to
I
being around
just,
people that respect this
I'm not
institution
in
like this.
those.
This isn't most people.
I can only
I mean,
speak to
you're
my
also from
perception.
Utah, or well, you say you're from LA
I'm
also.
from
What is
LA. I
LA?
live in Utah. I moved here
Okay,
for
okay.
college. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Um.
Okay.
Yeah. I was Mormon, and I was like,
Yeah.
gotta go to Mormontown. Um. What was I saying? I don't know a lot of those conservatives, and I believe you that those exist because I've definitely heard stereotypes of like the not to be stereotypical, but like the typical
You're okay.
Asian dad who just goes like, "We you got to be a doctor," and
Yeah.
he tends to have very conservative ideas, tends to be very
Yeah.
anti-gay, tends to be very
Yeah.
whatever,
Very like
and like
controlling. Yeah.
yeah. I totally hear that. I did not meet a lot of those people.
Okay.
That's a confusing. Like I believe that those people exist. It seems to be
Yeah.
such a
In
typical
your head, this is a
stereotype.
minority, though?
I don't even know. In my head, that's not my
Okay.
experience. Like, I think I
Okay.
know
Okay.
not to make those judgments about America. But what I
Yeah.
can say for sure is that the people that you are describing that like you don't believe exist, that like the mothers who are like we no sorry, what you said is we just need to be more assertive, and that anti-vax people will allow that to occur. That
Like the
feels
most radical ones won't, but like, yeah, I think that
but
if you guilt people,
it's
your baby's
only the
gonna fucking
most
die if you do
radical.
this.
There isn't a moderate anti-vaxxer to take
Really?
away vaccines from a
No, but the
fucking
okay, wait. Mostly, I agree. Mostly because I said earlier, like that's such a radical thing to do. I agree
yeah.
with that. But then, like the fact that it's been more, I don't know how much more popular it's become. But when I feel like, okay, I can't base everything off of these feelings. Oh my god,
No, no,
because
no, no. But just talk about it, and then we can sort
okay,
through
okay,
it.
okay.
And you
So
might
when I
be
was a kid, I feel like it was like really common knowledge that crazy people don't vaccinate their children, and that
yeah,
everybody else, no matter your political leaning, if you're not fucking crazy,
yeah,
then you don't believe that shit. And we don't want to give our kids whatever diseases. We
yeah,
believe in diseases. We believe in vaccines.
yeah,
That's just obviously I don't want my kid to get sick. I'm going to give them the shot that keeps them from getting sick, and then I'm
yeah.
not thinking about it being like a poke. Like that's like
Totally.
even though it feels very even though. So
I
I'm
would
just trying to
agree with you.
yeah.
I would agree with you that anti-vax movements have largely become larger, but this is because we have become more radicalized.
Okay, so you don't think it's eating up moderate people. You think that more people are becoming radical and this
Yes,
just goes along with it.
yes, yes. I do think that. And again, what do
Okay.
I know? But like, I
Yeah. I mean,
I
I'm interested in your
know
feelings there. Yeah.
I know the moderates in my family, and I know the radicals in my family, and there isn't a fucking moderate who doesn't like. My mom is a moderate Republican.
Yeah.
She she's very Mormon. She's pretty anti-gay. Like she's pretty like Republican. She's pretty conservative. She vaccinates her kids 100%. Like
For
that to
COVID
her
too?
is not a question. Yeah.
Okay. I felt
Yeah.
like that vaccine like made a lot of people
Well,
start acting weird.
she's very
Yeah.
anti-Trump, and that's kind of that speaks to
Okay.
my point that like she's a moderate because everyone has become so radicalized under the MAGA movement that like
Yeah.
that MAGA movement has been shifted away, and there's a sizable proportion, so much so that like that whatever yeah it's just it's a very radical thing to not trust doctors. Like
Yeah.
that's a pretty crazy thing. But I would also say that is also like maybe 10-20% of America that we're talking about that like really just doesn't trust doctors.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like I believe like and it's also like I don't even know how they really it's such a lack of thought because they'll still go to the hospital and ask for like help with their
Yes.
fucking leg. And it's like like my my brother-in-law goes hunting a lot. He's very big
Yeah.
anti-vaxxer, and he fell and like went to the hospital and got took the
Yep.
fucking drugs and like didn't really think about it. um
Yeah.
and I don't know, it's like I'm not trying to like I'm not trying to explain them in a rational way because they are
Yeah.
by definition irrational, right? Like they're a, yeah, they're a lot, man.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is the only thing that sort of like what I've seen doctors in Utah, and I can really only speak to Utah. They
Yeah.
have they have needed to learn to give them the space to make a decision, to try to inform them as best as possible, and to make it feel like it's their choice, and to just weigh the pros and cons. And
Yeah.
that sort of gives them the comfort to be able to make a decision in favor of vaccines. And like again, if being more assertive works, then as a utilitarian, let's be more assertive. But I really
See what
don't
you're
think
saying.
that would work.
Because it's already a radical decision to do it in the first place. You don't think this is happening for some like you don't think that this is like a casual thing happening to people
Not
that
at
sway
all.
on anything.
No, because if you go to the doctor and you're just like, do what you gotta do, then they're gonna do what they're gonna do vaccines, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to assert that you don't want um specific vaccines. And there's a
Yeah.
I think the baby like on um when he's first born, when they're first born, it's like I think 3 or 4 shots like the day of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's hard to watch. Like I really do
Yeah.
have sympathy for these people. I mean, not that much, but like to
I know
some
what you mean.
degree, like they have to. I don't know what it is. I think it's like um. Oh, I do know what it is. It's some STD. Um, that
Hepatitis C?
I think it's this hepatitis C thing, and they like have to put like gel in their fucking eyes, and like the
Mm,
baby is freaking out, like cannot, like
yeah.
he's
That's like one of the first sensations they feel too. That's so
yeah,
sad.
and it's horrifying. And I'm like, just do it. Like I need to like I need to look away. Like I
Yeah.
yeah, it's so I do have a lot of sympathy for these people, but
Yeah.
I mean yeah, um, I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, that's
There you go.
it's it's crazy. Yeah, and there's a lot of um misinformation out there, and obviously
Mhm.
RFK is exacerbating that, and Trump is exacerbating that, and
I feel like I can't even believe that is real. That's like still I can't I still like I so desperately want to go back to the I just want Houston to be the whole fucking world. I was so want to go back to this. I don't mean that. I hate Texas.
what do
I
you
want to
mean?
go back to this world where what?
The pro
I
science world?
Uh yeah, just people that would look at you
Trust
crazy if
authorities?
you said I'm not going to vaccinate my kids. If they'd be like, "Oh,
Totally.
okay, do you not
I
feed them this
just
and that?" Then like there's
I just tweeted this. I was at like a social function, and one of the girls there was like, "Oh, I follow you, and I like watch almost all your content." I was like, "Oh, really? That's great!" Like so weird to meet one of those out in the wild. And
that's cool.
she was like, "Yeah, I watch you and Candace Owens like almost exclusively." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I
I had a
kept
moment
talking
like
to
this
her.
recently. Oh my fucking
I
god.
kept talking to her, and she didn't fucking believe in the moon landing. And I was being nice. I was being kind, and
Yeah.
I was being graceful, but I was roasting the fuck out of her. And I was trying to bring in as many people into our conversation as I could, cuz I'm like,
Yeah, to back you up
we
and show her like
we need to go, like, this is crazy. You can't just go around the world believing that we didn't land on the moon. What the fuck are we talking about? And then I was like, yo, and then I forget what it was, but I was like, I said something like, she has crazy beliefs about the moon. And then the other person was like, oh, like what? Like, as in, like, does she believe that the moon happened and you think that that's crazy? Or like the other, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
she
I
had an
brought in
ally.
most of the people that I brought in were like, yo, this is crazy. But like, there were a couple of them, and I'm like,
We don't teach
some of
about the
them were
moon
like,
landing
I don't know,
enough.
let's hear both sides. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not here to prove, but it's the thing is, I
Yeah,
also felt like I had a good grasp of why we went on the moon, and like
yeah,
the arguments against it, and yeah, but the problem is that and really this goes to the ethos of like these radicals. A lot of these radicals are just, I don't believe in the government flatly.
yeah.
Like that's just my default, because I'm like, what do you think happened? And she's like, I don't know, I just don't trust what the government says.
Hey,
And that's so I don't think it happened because the government said it did. I
yeah.
believe the opposite. I'm like, that's just another way of believing in the government.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, yes, yes. So this is I keep wanting to so yes. I don't know how to point this out or like how to ask about it. I don't know. This the like earlier you gave an example of like an anti-vaxxer that is already in the hospital. They didn't do
Yeah.
a water birth at home. They believe in something in that fucking hospital.
I
So
agree. Yeah.
her loved one is dying. Like
It's
I've been married before. My ex-in-laws, they're very Trump people, and they always said that I was dumb for whatever doctor shit, like using the normal fucking taking medication, doing anything
sure.
normal. And
Sure.
then fucking father-in-law starts dying and they rush him to the
Of
hospital
course.
in
Of
the city.
course. Of course.
Yeah.
But then
So
also,
what happens there? What happens in their brain there? I don't understand. I
I
feel
do
like that's
think
why we can whip it into them because I'm like they have to go to the hospital. They believe in something.
I do agree. But I will say, well, I don't know. Actually, these are good questions, because I don't know exactly what's going on in their head either. I can confirm it's happening, but I can
Okay.
really only give a speculation as to why.
Yeah.
But I would also say that they're also kind of giving pushback then too. Like, if the doctor says like stay off your foot, they're like, fuck you, you don't know anything. And then,
Yeah.
like, there
Yeah.
is still that like there is still that reservation. It's tampered because your baby's not on the line, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like, I do think that these feelings are numbed, but it's really just because like it's like, what else are we gonna do? I know I can't fix this myself,
Yeah.
you know? the doctor for sure is going to be a little bitch and he's going to suck and he's not going to do what I want and he might try to indoctrinate me into being trans while I'm there. But but at least I could fix my leg and I can beat the shit out of him if he tries to trans me.
That
Um
makes sense. It just you just fixed it in my head. That's like the difference between preventative care and then like treating your broken leg right now because you don't have anywhere else to go and you're like, fuck,
yeah.
maybe I'll try the doctor.
Yeah.
That's yeah,
Yeah, but there is that innate skepticism that
yeah.
is deeply it is still there. It's just yeah, it's a lot. It's ameliorated. So,
Mhm, mhm.
yeah.
Sorry we didn't talk about fucking sex work at all. How are you doing on
That's
time? Do
okay.
you have other things? Do you have to go?
I should go soon. Also,
Mhm, mhm.
I heard my
I'm
baby
hungry. I want to order my
crying.
Mexican food.
I'm like, he'll be fine, and he stopped crying, so it's fine. He stopped crying,
You
so I don't
did.
need to do it.
Yeah, he fixed it himself. He found Coco Melon.
Exactly. And he found his book on the floor, and he's like, I found something I can. He's learned to be so independent. That's what's so cool. Is like he really can be okay on him by himself. Like
Yeah,
I stuck him in the room because I thought he was tired. Locked the
yeah.
door. I checked in on him later because his sister was crying, and he was just he was just up reading, drinking his bottle, just fuck. He was so weird. It's like, dude, that's what happens when you don't give them cocoa melon. Like they really do learn how
Yeah.
to function on them, like how to learn how to be alone and how to
Mhm.
learn how to like be with themselves. Because I
Yeah,
do
that is.
think
Yeah.
that is something that I think we're losing more and more, and that is I
Yes,
think is
yes.
the
Pre-internet people are very good at that, and then
yeah, like learning to be
we're not.
bored.
I'm not as good at that. Yeah,
Yeah, and like I think I've almost kind of lost that ability, and it does suck. Like I am still
yeah,
that guy who like needs to have music while I drive, and like
yeah.
when I'm watching a movie, it's like I'm on my phone. It's like fuck, and I have to like
Turn it
constantly go
off.
like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I need to pay attention to this, and I miss a scene. I rewind it. I go back on my phone. I'm like fuck,
I
I'm
do
so
that too.
stupid.
I do that with
I'm
short
so
YouTube videos.
stupid.
I don't even watch TV shows. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
how
and
rotted.
it's
Yeah,
fuck. Like I think we all know that sucks, and like it's this it yeah.
I know it's a feeling we all have, and I'm skeptical of it. But
You're
I
yeah, you shouldn't be
I
skeptical of
can't use
it.
that word. I can't. I'm
You're
skeptical of the vaccines too. I'm joking. I'm joking. That's why I hate that word. I can't use that word anymore. That word is
you're
ruined.
skeptical. I missed the joke. Sorry. You're skeptical of
Oh, I
what?
said I'm skeptical of the vaccines too.
Oh,
That's
sure,
and
sure.
the moon landing. That's like I can't. They
Oh.
stole this word from me. I can't use this word. But I just in my world, in Mooks's world, that baby would have been even more independent if you gave it a cocoa melon.
No way.
I don't
We're
know if
we're
I
just
wouldn't do that
we're just
firsthand. I'm not going to
keeping a
experiment.
charged iPad, and he could just turn it on. He learns how to turn it on, and he just watches videos all
I
night.
keep it on for them constantly. They don't even got to do it. Hell yeah.
You're fucking psychotic. Thank God you're not a
Turn
mother.
subtitles on.
Thank
They'll.
God. What?
I said turn subtitles on. They'll learn to read. I actually do think that TV. I have criticism
Jesus.
about TV. I think that things that make you like interact a little more, like I'm more comfortable with that. I actually don't like TV that much,
I
but that's.
100%
I'm
agree.
also this is a Zoomer. I'm biased, whatever. But
There's definitely a I'm way more okay with like Dora the Explorer than Cocomelon, and I
you're more
think
okay
that's
with video games than Cocomelon.
yes for
You're worried about
sure.
addiction, so that's also a
Yes.
separate.
No, 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 but it's like if we're addictive if we're addicted to something, but it's also making us smarter and making us better and more capable of using tools, then it's like okay, great. But it feels like
Yeah,
Cocomelon. We're using Cocomelon because if you've ever watched it, it's like there's not even a plot. Like it's not. It's like it's not even
I
like
do
they're
know the
not
Coco.
learning anything. It's like they're not even learning what a story is. Like it's
They're
really
learning
just
morals. They're learning that you're supposed to share with your friends and that you're supposed to
no,
hold
you're
hands. There's
not.
miniature
No,
things like that. Miniature.
Barrett. No,
Yes, there is. Yes, there
maybe,
is.
maybe. I
I
said
don't think that's that important. I think they can get that from other things too.
sure,
I won't advocate for Cocomelon. I will advocate
sure.
for like video games or like doing things on your phone, like
Yeah,
an app, like a I don't know.
my big problem is the mobility. Like I really think that it's bad for a kid to feel like he can take his phone and go to the bedroom with it. I
Yeah,
really like video games on a screen where it's like, okay, well we're going into the living room and the living room is the video game place and we can play and interact and then once we leave
makes
we're
sense.
done with it. And just this idea that we can carry that constant stimulation like from room to
Yeah,
room That
I feel like my
really,
phone is my brain. Yeah.
yeah, that really worries me. And
I
again,
call my
like,
computer and my brain my computer and my phone are my brain. Like I
yeah,
call them that.
for
Whenever I
sure.
didn't have my computer for like something in it broke, I had to replace shit. And then I was a different human being during that time. I had to like
Yeah,
learn how to live again. I was like, old people did this. They
yeah,
really did this shit. And I still had my phone. And I was like that. And I was like, God, I guess I have to look at the smaller screen.
yeah,
Fuck, it's not even as capable. I can't play games on this. God damn it. That was
yeah.
like so yeah.
And yeah, like right now, because I've been in school consistently for like 3 years. Like I haven't even taken a summer semester off. This is by far the least
Wow.
amount of school I've done, and I don't work this time around. I'm really just doing social
Yeah.
media, and I'm really just trying to make like 1 or 2 videos a day, and it doesn't take that much time. I
Yeah.
am way more like not depressed, but like I am way less fulfilled than I usually am.
Yeah.
And it is like I do worry about like just the constant stimulation. And I really try to
Mhm.
like subvert that. Like I'm trying to watch thoughtful movies that I feel like are very artistic and like force me to really engage with it. But like if you're not doing that and you're just like I think this kind of wraps back to like the sex work where it's like
Yeah.
it's the I will say the thing about porn is it does feel like it is the easiest form of art, right? It's like it's the easiest to get that
Yeah. It's like cheap, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And like again, there is
Or
nothing
it
wrong
can
with it in
be.
slow. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it in low doses, but yeah, I don't know. And I'm a little bit I'm on either side. I don't know how I don't know how harmful it is, and it might not be
Yeah.
harmful at all. And I'm not trying to like sound an alarm. I think that there's way bigger problems in the world right
Yeah.
now, and I think
No, I'm
anyone.
kind of like forcing you to be the voice of the people that are sounding the
No, no,
alarm
no.
because I
Yeah,
want
yeah, yeah.
somebody to talk to. Yeah.
For sure, because I would largely disagree with really focusing on sex work at all,
Yeah.
other than well, sorry, I would say that when it comes to like I don't know, because even like the worst forms of sex work are kind of non-existent in America. Like
Yeah.
the you know my
Yeah.
wife worked
Trafficking in
in
other countries, I usually try to distinguish that from like internet sex work. Yeah.
totally because like OnlyFans is a completely different. Like you really do
Mhm.
have autonomy in this,
Yeah.
and like sex work, largely speaking, has been non-autonomous. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it is a
I can
distinct.
agree with that.
They're very very different. Um, I'm okay with targeting sex work in like I don't know the Sudan. I don't know wherever the sex work is the worst. But
I would go as far as to say like IRL, even though my personal feelings are like I want to be a prostitute. I think it's fun and I want to get money and I want to have sex. And that's so cool that I can
sure,
do both of those and that society will reward me for being this way. This is awesome. But
sure. I don't
as
I
far
don't
as
have the biggest
prostitution, I'm
issue.
like,
I don't have the biggest issue with
there's a lot of
prostitution
trafficking. So
in
that's,
yeah Las Vegas. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the concern is that there is a lot of like there's a lot of pimps who
yeah,
but it's like it's also like prostitution is very dangerous. Like it
yeah,
is you are man, like the amount of violence happening
yeah,
in that arena is very scary. And
yeah,
I have a lot of empathy for people saying we just got to cut it because women are getting killed.
yeah,
And when they're not getting killed, they're like grateful they only got beat up. Like
yeah.
there is like I'm like, well, it's basic. I don't think I think it's still illegal in Las Vegas, but it's basically just like not um no one really cares enough to really
I have friends that travel there specifically to do stuff. So then I assume it's
prostitution definitely exists.
normal there.
I've been handed I go to Vegas every once in a while. I
Yeah,
gamble every once in a while. I like poker a lot. Um like I've been handed cards, right? That are
yeah,
like it's really clear what it is, but I think it can't be explicit cuz like you can get arrested really easily.
yeah.
But the cops really I think it's pretty what's the word? It's kind of like jaywalking.
Decriminalize.
Yeah. Well, no, no, no.
Yeah.
It's like not
Not
really
actually, but
enforced.
like pseudo,
Yeah, it's
like
not
they're
really
not acting on
enforced.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Enforced. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really enforced. I don't know what prostitution is right now in Las Vegas, but if it is dangerous and if
Yeah.
women are getting killed and getting beat up, then it's like, yeah, for sure, I think that we should probably enforce it. But then again, if it's just like we're worried about the abstract like, oh, how good is it to actually buy sex? Like are we really like shortcutting the emotional or romantic component to sex and cheapening it. That is such an abstract and like later down the line conversation than the conversations
Yeah.
we should be having about society right now,
Yeah.
especially in the Trump era.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely something like I could probably have an opinion on if I really thought about it. I don't know how fruitful it is to.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is like
we
very like selfish for me. This is
no
like
no no no
a
no yeah, and if we want to have like ironically like masturbatory conversations where we're just like I love having like I'm a
yeah.
philosophy major, like we don't there's tons of shit I talk about that don't matter at all, and I'm like I'm just like talking about it. I think it's fun. I'm all
Yeah.
like I'm not totally like I'm not saying don't talk about it, but
Yeah, I know you're just explaining like why you haven't thought that much about it like right now because there's
yeah,
a
I
bunch of other
really
shit going
don't.
on.
I really don't find it that important. I don't find it.
Yeah.
If if we ban it, I probably am frustrated with it solely because there are so many more other productive things that we could be doing,
True.
and that is such a difficult and like hard to know thing.
Yeah.
When there's so many easy solutions in our grasp right now, like
Yeah.
yeah, going to that button feels crazy.
Yeah. Usually okay, so where I'm at with this, I grew up in Houston, as I've said 1,000 times. This is I've heard this be called the human trafficking capital of the United States, because it's right there next to Mexico. Um, I was constantly around prostitution my whole life, and I only lived there when I was underage. So
Hmm.
my underage friends were, and they would get arrested sometimes because when you're above
What?
the age of 14, you're considered a perpetuator of it instead of a victim.
Sorry,
They also,
your underage
yes,
friends were
arrested
participating.
for prostitution
Wow.
while they were underage. Yes.
They were
Um,
they were prostitutes, or they were buying prostitutes.
they were the prostitute.
That's
They were being
fucking
pimped out by a guy,
horrible.
and then what actually happened was like this is I shouldn't say my fault, but like everyone was mad at me for a while. I called the cops on the pimp,
1 million
and
percent. You should not
my
feel bad
friends went
about
to
that.
jail, and he went to jail too. For more time.
Your friend
He
went to
eventually
jail. She
got
was
out.
14. That's
No, who the
crazy.
fuck I'm saying yes?
Yeah,
Two
and
of them.
like
Two of them.
and so there is there's a hard conversation about whether or not you did the right thing, but that's only because the law is so fucked that she could
Yeah.
go to jail for that, for getting
I
pimped
didn't even know.
at
Yeah.
14. That's crazy. Like
I didn't like
obviously that
no
girl is
normal
being
person
taken
would
advantage
assume
of.
that that's the law.
No, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Which is why you should not feel bad about that. Obviously, I
Yeah.
want to organize a society in which one, that 14-year-old, that is enforced, that we stop that type of behavior, but also two, that we don't just chuck a 14-year-old being prostituted in jail. That is
Obviously,
crazy.
obviously. Yeah.
Holy shit.
But
But throw
so
that
the
pimp away. I like
yeah,
he
just
needs to get
that's
holy shit. Chuck him out of society.
man.
I like
Put him in the infinite rehab center.
sure, I don't care where he is as long as he's away from us. Like that's
Yeah.
like you just can't behave in that way. Which I
The
really
the point I was gonna make. No, you can talk.
oh, I was just about to say like another philosophical perspective that I think I definitely have um is that um I care very little about fault. Because I
Okay.
think a lot of people would say that pimp, like for example, whatever R. Kelly is like,
Yeah.
he was molested as a kid, right? And
Mhm,
that
mhm,
like a lot of people are like, okay, well, how much is his fault, right?
mhm,
How
mhm.
much, um, how determined was that outcome? Because it seems like a lot of abuse perpetuates itself, that
Yeah.
it continues, that like the one abused ends up abusing
Yeah.
another person close to them. I think that is an interesting philosophical conversation, but at the end of the day, the answer really is we live in a society and there are tons of things that we do that we don't really have control over, but okay, you kind of need to be carted away from society so you don't hurt
Yeah.
others. And that's really it. And like, yeah, maybe it wasn't your fault that you murdered that guy. Maybe it was like um maybe it was that you were abused as a kid. I have an
Yeah.
adopted brother
Never had a chance. Whatever.
who
Yeah.
is in jail right now, and like I think like you look at his first 2 years, it's like how could we not have the most utmost sympathy for this kid? And
Yeah.
it's like when you're 24 years old and you have shown that you cannot participate in society, at the end of the day, it kind of doesn't really matter. And I can
I
have
agree.
sympathy for him, And I could also say it's good that he is in jail because he is completely destructive towards
Yeah.
everyone in his life around him. And I really don't. I think that whose fault is it is just the worst conversation to have. I think the conversation is, can he function in society? And sometimes that fault is
Mhm.
really wrapped up in it, right? Like if you're killing someone in self-defense, then it's like, how much is it your fault? No. But that's because it's you can reintegrate into society probably very easily. You're probably just like a situation that is very unlikely to happen again was
Yeah.
forced to occur. So it's okay, right? Like you can just come back into society and we'll accept you back into the fold. I usually use that lens, which is a very like pragmatic, and I try to be very, yeah. It's I think it's a pragmatic lens to look
Yeah.
through society in. I don't know why I
I
went
think I
on
agree
that.
with that. No, no, you're good. Yes, yes, I agree that fault is usually a like I don't even like in my personal relationships, I don't really bother with it. Like I guess there's like you gotta like analyze like some stuff and be like, is this a repeat behavior, whatever. But usually I'm just like, whatever, let's resolve the thing. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
I agree. Um
I forgot why. Sorry to derail.
no, you're good, you're good. There was a I brought up my friend that went to jail.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Um
I'm
so
horrified.
yeah, sorry to just drop that fucking bombshell on you. That's
No,
like that's
I'm glad you're sharing it. Because it's
yeah.
like, what? What do we allow in society? A 14-year-old
Yeah,
is
I need
getting pimped and
everybody to
we're throwing
know
her in prison?
a bad Texas. Yeah, and to get an abortion, you would thankfully this was the case for my friends, but fucking you need also both your parents' consent um
Mhm.
to get the abortion in the first place. So like there's like a nightmare situation here where
Yeah.
like you're going to jail and you also can like everything luckily for my
Jesus.
friends it was only like 50% of that, but I've seen a bunch of other worse
Did
things
she
in
get
like
out? Is she
tangential
okay?
because like friend to friend. Yeah, she was in there for about a month. Um
Jeez.
and I wrote her letters when she was in there, and then when she got out, she was really pissed, and she was like, "Who the fuck called the cops on me?" She was Snapchatting. I
Who?
don't know why I did my phone like
Oh,
that.
sure.
She
Did
was like,
she never found
"Whoever,
out?
whoever snitched is gonna get stitches." We were
Uh-huh.
fucking 14,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
uh, what actually happened with that was that this is so crazy. She heard from other people. I was so scared because as soon as she started acting like this, I was like, "I sent my friend to jail. I sent my friend to jail," and
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
even though I know I did the right thing, I know I
No,
did.
sure,
So
sure, but it's still you didn't know
yeah,
that that outcome would happen and you don't know if you would have
no,
changed
no.
what you did knowing that action.
And oh my god, another fucking detail. I just want to. I'm sorry. This is like
Go
I'm
ahead
just
and
gonna suck my own dick
unload.
about this. I oh what?
Go ahead
Yeah,
and
I
unload. Yeah.
fucking I wrote her letters, and then after she got out, um, I also found out that I was the only person that was writing her letters out of everybody in the friend group. Everybody else in the friend group was
Oh,
like that
gotcha.
bitch Mooks called the cops on you, and then first of all, it was like I was a CIA fucking I was googling shit. I was looking at metadata and his pictures. I did so much shit to make this happen, and I was so proud. And she goes to jail, and then she gets out, and then she's stitches get stitches, and then I fucking meet up with her, and I don't know what's gonna happen. And she seemingly is really mad at whoever sent her to jail, and she shows up, and then we're talking face to face, and then halfway through us just hanging out normally, and her like catching up with me and telling me everything that happened to her, she was like, "Yeah, I actually came here planning to beat your ass, and then I don't know, I just saw you, and then I remembered that you're like the nicest person I know, and that actually
That's
doesn't make sense to
beautiful.
do. I'm still really mad you called the cops." She didn't. It took her like years to understand it. Um,
Yeah.
like she still had that thing of like, I'm mad you did that, but I'm over it. And then after a while, she was like, "Holy shit! I didn't realize that things would have
Yeah.
gotten a lot worse if yeah." But
I mean, you're in a great like the holy shit. If you got pregnant from oh, that could go sideways in so many different ways. Yeah, but like I do think that it's understandable that people are so opposed to prostitution when they hear stories like this.
yeah,
Like this and I think that that's why people are largely more okay with OnlyFans, but they still have those reservations because to them prostitution is not I'm sitting in front of a cam and some boys are messaging me and I have the
yeah,
they don't even know where I live. I have the
yeah,
safety of my home.
exactly.
Nothing could happen to me.
They don't
Um,
touch you.
yeah,
If they do anything bad, it is illegal because you're not doing a crime
yeah,
in the first place. You can call the cops when something bad happens. Yeah, this
yeah,
is I am like very radically pro OnlyFans because of this type of thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Where I
yeah,
think that the same type of girl that would be good at doing prostitution in real life would also be good at doing cam whoring
Mm.
So I mean, I'm sorry. That's a I don't whatever. I'm sorry. I'm used to being
No, no,
flippant
no,
about
no.
this.
Sure, sure, sure,
So
sure. But it's
camming.
sure.
Um,
It is, and also
yeah,
something that I also think we should always be having a conversation with is if we like, there's a bunch of conservatives who would say we should just ban all of it, all of the
yeah.
practice, um,
That's usually what I see.
porn, prostitution, all of it. And I think the question is, what about what about the people who want to engage with it nonetheless? Like,
Yeah,
what avenues will they go to find this accessible? And obviously, there will be fewer of them because it's
yeah,
less easy, but there will certainly be some of them. And
yeah,
what means are they going to go through? And it's usually very often a backdoor way where there's going to be
yeah.
a whole there's going to be no regulation, there's going to be no restriction, there's going to be no ability for the cops to get involved. Like you said, you
That's the
can call
biggest
the
thing to me.
cops,
Yeah,
and if it's illegal, people can't feel like they go to the cops or they go to jail.
yeah,
And yeah, like that is a huge conversation that we should always be having about sex work, is what about the work? Like, I get that you could say that it might be meaningfully dangerous to society, but we always need to weigh that against the world in which this doesn't occur, because that might be
yeah,
even more dangerous to society. That's the
yeah.
realization that we all kind of
That's my
had
belief. Yeah,
during prohibition, is like, shit, we actually do need to make this legal, even though we all kind of acknowledge that alcoholics are a genuine problem and destroying families and beating their wives. Like,
yeah,
I understand that. But the situation gets, we can't just say don't do that anymore. We have to say the police can't get involved, or
yeah,
we yeah. We can't regulate that anymore. Like, it's different switches. We can't just say turn that off. And
yeah.
that's being a pragmatist. That's being involved in politics genuinely. I had this really good conversation um, with a buddy of mine who was like, no, the issue with guns. He's like, I've solved it, and I've heard this a bunch of times. It wasn't even his opinion, but
Yeah.
he was like, we should just um, stop mentally ill people from owning guns, and that
That's what I said when I was
sounds,
younger. Yeah,
yeah, that makes so much sense, because you go, well, obviously, one, the mass shooters are mentally ill, and we should not
yeah,
have them guns, but it's okay for other people to have guns because they're not mentally ill, and so they're not going to shoot up a school.
yeah.
That makes sense on the face of it, but if we look at the incentive structure that you're developing here, the first thing that's going to happen is that if you have a gun and you have a mental health crisis,
Yes.
and you cannot go to a therapist because they will take away your guns, and
Yeah,
they will just not go to therapy. And that is
yeah,
a very, very dangerous world to live in, because you can't just go, mentally ill people can't have guns. You can't just flip that switch, because they
yeah.
have to be diagnosed. They have to go through we live in a complicated society full of different incentive structures. And yeah, I do think that, when you're a kid, yeah, like you said, you're a kid, you just go, let's just not do that anymore.
Yay!
Yeah, and it makes a lot of
Uh,
sense.
what's your last thing before we go? What's your opinion now about that? Is that another thing where you think that we should have some amount of it, or I
Gun
guess okay,
control.
wait. Yes, I
What's
want
my
to zoom
gun
out.
control opinion?
I yes, I want two answers. I want
Mhm.
what you would do if you were God. If you were God and you could make everything
Easy.
go. Well, no, that's then just nobody would kill each other. Fuck, that's a stupid
Yeah,
question. I'm sorry.
exactly.
No,
I
wait,
just go to
no, wait. Let me ask it again. So
yeah.
because I want to say like no. That is
The No, yeah,
that
the
is the
God thing is
question.
always like, well, I
Okay,
would change their emotions then, but I
okay,
can't
that's
change
not
their
what I was trying
emotions.
to get at. What
I
I was
can't
trying
change
to
their
get at was
emotions.
like
Yeah,
if
I
you
would.
could realistically take guns away from Americans, I don't think we can, and that's why I'm like I don't know what to do. But
Yeah, I would get rid of. I would stop guns from existing as God.
okay, okay, cool. I figured, but that's yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that 100% makes sense. That, largely speaking, guns were developed to get a, yeah, death. Yeah, I don't think
okay,
that there's any I don't think there's any distinctly good things that happen from guns. I could point to individual things, we talk so much about hunters, going
mm,
into the forest and fucking shooting lions like it's this terrible thing. But very often, what hunters actually are doing is maintaining population control, because um, the government knows what invasive species there are and will make it legal to only kill those things and will actually provide bounties for them. So hunters will
Yeah.
go in and essentially make a living killing these invasive species, and they want to fish anyway. They want to kill
Yeah.
things anyway. So I'm a really big like incentive structure guy where it's like how can we incentivize behaviors that are beneficial to society where people want to do that shit. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
that really gets me excited. And that's why housing is my number
For
one
like
issue.
buyback stuff, you probably
I
like that.
think I think that in America it is very very difficult. I would say it's impossible to do a
Okay.
mandatory buyback program because you're going to need to be assertive as the government, and those people do not trust the government, and you will probably
Yeah.
have a civil war on your hands.
Yeah.
That is it.
Starts with
That's
me.
the only reason as to why I think mandatory buybacks are a problem.
Oh.
I think they should be taken away from these people, but I think we can't take these guns away from these
Okay.
people.
Okay, we're the same about that. For a second, I was like, you said something whenever you were talking about like most people that aren't mentally ill aren't gonna use the gun. I was like, is this gonna lead to something where your like homes are more safe with the no, right? No, right? And
Homes
then
are
okay,
more
so no,
safe. What do you mean? Oh,
with a gun in it. It's
I don't think so.
no, I think
I think that you could make an argument. I don't think this is the case though. I think that it's not the case that guns are. I think you could make an argument that like if you lived in fucking 90s Chicago or something like that, that you actually do need a gun because there are people who will break into your home. But the reality
yeah,
of that situation is that you're also going to have a child who's going to be indoctrinated into these gangs who will probably use that gun because you're probably not
yeah,
going to be able to lock it up well. So yeah, I don't think that guns. I think that guns are largely bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to misquote the thing, but there was a when I met my husband 6 years ago, I was like
Mm-hmm.
I was at that spot that we talked about a minute ago where it was like just fucking screen people. And then I guess I grew up in Texas, so I'm used to everybody around me
Sure.
being like, I really want my guns and I
Totally.
my home is safer with it in it. And then
Sure.
he told me something that made me feel so like, oh yeah, that makes sense. What the fuck? And I don't want to misquote it, but he's right here. The thing where it's like, is it do most gun deaths happen within the home?
I've heard that.
Is that true?
That's the kind of factoid I wouldn't remember vividly anymore.
Right either. Shit.
I
Okay.
would bet that I think I've heard this before that kids are more like that a gun is more likely to be used against a kid than against a home invader.
Yeah. I,
I've heard that. I don't know if that's true, so don't quote me on that.
no, you're good. I
But
I was shown something that I was like, yes, this is oh my god, this is credible, this makes sense. It goes against everything that I believed before, and I guess I just have to fucking accept this now. And then I was like, damn, I guess we should just reduce. If I could convince somebody not to buy one, I will. Like that's just
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I think really the only thing that we can do is recognize that guns are largely like there are in America. This is a 100% true fact. This is crazy fact. There are more guns than people in America. Which is
Jesus.
sorry,
We're
and
never
sorry,
getting those back.
owned guns, not just like guns in a factory or in a store.
Yeah.
Own, yeah.
That we
This
can
is
count. Yeah.
yes, but this is obviously because some people have like 100 guns. You know, it's
Yeah.
not because most people have guns. That's
Yeah.
like a really common misconception about America. It's just like there are these fucking people who have a whole garage, and it's like, look at all of the
Yeah.
guns that I
Our
have.
whole
You've met
basement is
these
a
people,
bunker. Yeah.
I'm sure, and it's like it's crazy. All we really have to do is wait for these people to die out because they tend to be pretty old, and like that's really all we can do. And like
Yeah.
that's my solution to the gun control is wait this shit out and then do a mandatory buyback later down the line because this shit is
That makes
not
sense.
happening anytime soon. We just
Yeah.
don't have the capital to do it. Like we don't, you would think that after what was it that shooting of like an elementary school in
Texas.
no, it was like New Hampshire or something.
Oh.
It was fuck. It was like one of the most famous mass shootings.
Hmm.
Most famous mass shootings. Let me.
One of the earlier ones? Any of
Name
Columbine?
it was. I was in. I was. It was in like 2012. I was a sophomore.
Oh.
Hold on. Mass shootings. Children. Like it was so young. It was like 5 year olds.
Yeah.
Oh, Newtown. Newtown.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Newtown shooting. You would think that after Newtown happened, which I think it was 20. Jesus, this breaks my heart. 26-year-olds died
Jesus.
in Newtown, and 6 adults. Um, yeah, this was holy shit. Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
If you Sandy Hook, which sort of Alex Jones famously
Mhm.
Said was a false flag.
Yeah.
You would think that after this happened, everyone was like, "Yo, we can't do this gun shit anymore." And the fact we
Yeah.
didn't, the fact we had people still holding true to guns after that, it's like we just have to wait for you guys to die. 'Cause
Yeah.
you
So many people
guys
around me were just like, we need to have more guns so that I
Right.
can shoot the bad guys and protect the babies. That's like, yeah,
Yeah, and then they were obviously
I argue with that.
yeah. Oh, this is crazy reading. It's like, yeah, I remember when that happened because I had a buddy from Connecticut, and he was he was like right near that area, and he knew some people there, and he
Yeah.
was like, dude, he
Shit.
was devastated for like 3 months. It was like,
Yeah.
how can I blame you, dude? This is holy shit. It's crazy when you really think about. I know maybe I'm just locked into this, but like it's crazy how
No,
much
you're
we've
good.
normalized this because everyone's like, yeah, Sandy Hook. Like I know that happened. It's like
Yeah.
20, like a dude killed, like not even Anakin killed 26-year-olds. They were like 10, and he killed like 5 of them.
Yeah.
And that's like the most villainous thing that anyone could think of. Yeah.
And then I'm also like sunlocked on the adults because I'm like, damn, those were like people that were like trying to protect the children. That's like if you
Totally.
imagine like their last state of mind, that's like so Jesus. Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, I can't think about this for too long.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Christ.
Jesus, oh my god, I'm fucking the worst. Anyways,
I brought this up. I said
did
it,
you?
yes, because I said
Okay.
once this happened, there wasn't a lot of, we have to just wait for these people to die out. That's my gun.
Yeah.
That's my gun control take. There's just you just
I'm getting less confident in that as I'm getting older. These kids are scaring me. But
you think that we're more, what do you mean?
I mean that whenever I just never believed that Trump would be elected a second time or even a first, really.
Oh, sure. But I would say even Trump getting elected
I
is
have less faith in
because,
our kids to undo shit, is what I'm saying.
yeah, but
Like they might also latch onto the guns. I don't fucking know.
yeah, but our kids are pretty anti-Trump. Like largely speaking, Trump got elected because there was like a boomer population that votes way more consistently than the kids do. Because that's just a reality that like 60-year-olds are way more politically engaged than 20-year-olds. And so yeah, there's going to be this deeply right-wing bias because the 60-year-olds tend to be right-wing. So I don't know how. I have faith in our future. I feel like we're going to be okay. I
That
I
sounds good to
also
me.
I also do think that it is funny. Like I do think Biden got elected because Trump took such a political approach to COVID, and
Yeah.
literally he just killed his voter base. Like literally they just
Yeah.
died of COVID, and then he lost. But then there was a resurgence because yeah, whatever. There's a lot going into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta get going. This was way
Yeah.
longer than you said it would. But
No,
I'm glad.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No. Don't apologize. I had
I love
time.
talking.
I'm glad I was here. I'm glad we had this conversation. This was great.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Any other thing to end the convo on?
Not that I can think of. I would talk to you anytime, and you should plug your stuff
Yeah,
again.
let's do this again. Hunter E. Kozak. How many viewers you got? Beyond, I didn't go live because I thought this would be a lot
Probably
more
like 2. I'm so sorry,
explicit.
guys. I love you. I love
No,
you,
it's all
my
good.
2 viewers.
I get about 2 viewers each.
8
Too. Hell
today.
yeah! Shout out
Hell
to
yeah.
those 8. Yeah, I thought this would be a little bit more NSFW, so I was trying to not go live and maybe cut some portions. I don't know. I didn't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's yeah, I forgot that you can take whatever you want.
Yeah, no,
also.
I will. I'll post this on my YouTube. Not like my YouTube gets anywhere, but you should follow me, Hunter E. Kozak. Follow me on TikTok. That's the only one that really is doing anything. But also Twitter, and maybe nowhere else. You can follow me elsewhere. I would appreciate it, but man, I'm starting to become really polarized against social media. I think everyone is so stupid that follows me, except for those 8 people. If you follow me, you're gonna stop. You're gonna swing the needle.
Help the ratio.
Yeah, you're gonna swing the needle against
7.
dumb people following me. I feel like
Mhm.
I fucking that person I met in real life who was like, yeah, the moon landing didn't happen, and I also follow you and watch your videos regularly. I'm like, okay, everyone who follows me sucks. Like I became so polarized. This happened
Yeah.
like 3 days ago, and I it hasn't
Aw.
left my head. I'm like, I need to
It's
burn
just
up
one.
all of my social media.
It's
Yeah, but
one sample.
ever since the shooting, like that's all who's been following me. Like
Yeah.
a significant majority of who follows me is because I was in there, and I think a lot of them are conspiracy theorists. And I'm
Yeah.
obviously just if anyone brings up a conspiracy theory about the shooting, I just immediately block them. Like it's a
Yeah.
go to. I'm not dealing with you, but
Especially like on your page is like really insane. That's really insane to me.
yeah, you should see my DMs sometime. They're fucking
Jesus.
crazy.
I saw some of the comments on I saw you like respond to somebody that commented something under one of your shorts. Or maybe it was a TikTok, I don't know. But I saw your response to it and I was just like I'm just flabbergasted that people interact with you that way. That's crazy to
I
me.
know. Yeah.
I think when you do more things online, people will recognize you as just like a guy
Yeah, I hope so. I do
over
think that
time.
I'm not famous enough to like be looked at and then being like, "Oh, you're that guy who was there."
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. But then there's the other polarization where it's like once that information gets leaked, then it's like, "What? That guy?" You know? So it's like
Yeah, it is like
so
that.
then
It
it's
is like
like
that.
it
Yeah.
springs back up cuz then everyone's like, "Wait, that fuck I watched a video of his that had nothing to do with that. I didn't even realize it was like it's all very exhausting and
Yeah.
I'm really
I'm sorry
committed to
people are like
school
that.
right now because I'm like, but then I'm gonna deal with kids, and the kids have the fucking Charlie Kirk memes, and they're just gonna be fucking. Man,
Maybe you can
I'm really trying to be hopeful. I
yeah.
really am. Things will be
You can
okay.
give them a different perspective and maybe
Yeah, I do. I do think I gotta 8 Mile it. Do you know what that is? Is that reference too old for you? Do you know? Do you get it?
I don't know what those.
It's a movie with Eminem, and he's in a rap battle, and he knows that this guy has all of this information on him that like the guy fucked his girlfriend, and he knows that he's like broke, and he knows all this shit about about him, and he's going first, which is the big problem because in rap battles you always want to go last. You can respond and end on a banger, so he goes first, and he says all this shit. He's like, I know this stuff about, and he diffuses all of the stuff because he.
Yeah.
That's what I got to do as a teacher. I got to bring it up
Yeah.
ahead of time and go, yeah, you fucking losers think that.
This you should take
But
this
then it
serious
just
'cause
sound
this is the thing.
offensive.
Yeah.
There's a balance. I'll find it. I'll figure it
I
out.
think the children, depending on what age, I mean, they're impressionable. You could be their first person to tell them about it. Probably a lot of them.
Yeah,
I
maybe,
don't know what
but
age.
like, I don't know if you've seen these Charlie Kirk memes. Maybe they're dying down though.
I have. I have.
I think that they're dying out a little bit, but man,
I think a
hopefully,
few more major events, and then it'll be like
yeah.
one of them. It's just because it's more recent, but it's
Right.
yeah.
I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna say I like I'll do it. I've thought about like ways to integrate it into the thing where I talk about how bad conspiracy theorists are and how like they're not using
Yeah.
critical thinking and stuff. Um I feel like when I say it, they're gonna be like the meme guy. That was a real person. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh my
they're
god,
like
I've
I've
never
seen.
thought about that before.
Yeah, they like don't even know him as like a political entity who was assassinated. They know him as
Oh my god.
the guy who Robert Downey Jr. is sometimes in memes. Like it's
That's so good. Oh my god. I've
I
literally never
really do
thought
think that's
about
gonna
that.
happen, and I'm Loki excited to
Because
be
his
like,
name doesn't appear very much for like I mean, like when he was alive doing stuff, like sure, but like now pretty much the only
the
way that
right
he's ever gonna come up is
the right has done a
they are gonna
terrible
think he's
job
from
of
TikTok.
weaponizing his death. I really thought it was gonna be a lot worse, and it really wasn't because they're a bunch of idiots who have
Yep.
ingratiated themselves with morons and schizophrenic people. So
Yeah.
when Candace Owens was, that was the slug hitter. It's like, well, we got Candace Owens. She was a best friend. She's got a huge audience. She's like, no,
Yep.
it's actually turning point.
Yeah.
And that the right kind of deserves it for ingratiating these fucking psychos.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do have to get
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, I love talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was a great
Yeah.
conversation. We'll talk soon, I guess. I don't know. We should do this more
Yes.
often. I'm down.
I would love that.
Thanks. Oh my, and I'll go live next time so we can contribute the conversation.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, guys. But I'll
Well,
post this and tag it and all that stuff.
wait, so you go live on TikTok, right?
No, I go live on YouTube.
Okay.
Even though
Because I don't know
shouldn't,
how to not
'cause
say the
it's
bad
like,
words on TikTok. I think too many of
don't
the
worry
words I
about
say
it.
get you banned on
Don't worry
TikTok.
about
I'm
it.
not sure. I talk about
I
sex
don't know
too much.
how it works.
Okay.
I think you could say, I don't know. The sex work thing is different. I don't know
For TikTok or YouTube?
for TikTok, because you can swear on TikTok. They don't care.
I
But
see people on there like mouthing the word sex and like censoring it with a 3, so
that's
I don't
so
fucking know.
overblown. You don't need to say unaliving. I'm almost positive. I've said killing for sure in videos, and they
Okay.
no,
So
you
this
don't
is
get
just
banned.
superstition by kids that are copying
I
each
do
other
think,
and
yeah,
okay.
it's this idea of like shadow banning that like it's checking the subtitles and then
Yeah.
trying to restrict those words. But then obviously they catch on because you can just add unalive into the thing to ban now. Like it's like
Yeah.
what the you
Pretty sure
really
every time
did?
I type in Minecraft, the FBI is like, "Yep."
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they
Exactly.
know.
Yes. Like we think we're so fucking subtle. They'll
Yeah.
never know. We'll say grape this time. We're just gonna some farmer who's like trying to post about these grapes that he made, he suddenly gets shadow banned. He's like, "What the fuck?" All right.
You know, a lot of this I think is also like kids that like don't want to curse for like the normal reasons that kids don't want to curse, and then that mixes with like
What
these
are the normal
algorithms.
reasons that kids don't want to curse? Kids love to curse. What
They're
do you
not
mean?
allowed to. They don't want to be
Oh, sure,
caught
sure,
cursing
sure.
in public. And some of them do like
Sure.
internalize guilt about it, where they're like, I
Sure,
would
sure,
never
sure,
say
sure.
the
No,
F
you're right,
word.
right, right, right,
I'm a
right.
good kid. Like,
I
yeah.
see. I grew up in such an era where it's like nothing was videotaped, and then like I wasn't constantly being monitored. Where I was like worried
Yeah.
that what I was saying gonna be like shown to my mom and then like blasted to a bunch of people. So I cursed all the time. I was the coolest thing to like say a swear. I remember when I thought it was okay to do. Well, not that it was okay. It was I knew it was edgy because my mom hated it, and I would just I got on a swearing kick. Me and my buddy, where we would just like start cussing people out, and they're like, "That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even hurt.
I
What are you
love when
talking
kids
about?"
do that. I love that so
I'm
much.
like,
You
"Fuck you,
fuck
bitch
big
ass
ass.
pussy,"
Yeah.
and they're like, "What? Are you mad at me? I can't even tell." Because I was so gleeful when I was doing it, you know. I was just excited to feel the rush.
There's a picture I'm thinking of these two kids. This is the last thing. These two kids in the back seat of a car, and they're both like flipping off the camera, and they look so happy doing it.
Hell yeah.
That's the
It's so
I sent me that the other
exhilarating.
day.
You're like, I can do the thing that my mom says is not okay. Once you realize that those like boundaries are arbitrary, you're like, the world is my oyster. I can do anything that I want. It's a
Yeah.
rush, man. Yeah. But you know what? You know
True.
what those kids will not be able to, and you know what they won't. There are a certain amount of kids who won't be able to feel that rush. You know why? Because it's
Fine.
not as good as Cocomelon, and they were given to it as a kid when they were
They're
4 years
still
old.
gonna feel things,
Nope,
Hunter.
they can't. They can't.
They're
It's
gonna drink a
Cocomelon or
soda and
nothing.
be like, "Wow, this is good." The other things are good. Other things are good too. They'll
By the
remember
way,
them.
common misconception: kids don't really care about soda. I gave my kid
Really?
Sprite. Well, he's like, this is nice. He's never like, like I remember when I gave my kid Sprite for the first time. He was probably like 8 months.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, this is nice. I like it. I give him hot Cheetos. He's like, first time eating spicy. I think people are a lot more. It's like the reason why we enjoy this is because they're enjoyable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like kids are like, yeah, okay. Like
That's so funny. I thought I've seen babies like latch on where they're like and I think it's the carbonation or the it's like a
yeah,
combination because
he
sugar also,
likes
but like carbonation
carbonation,
is
but it's
unique.
not
Yeah.
this like it's not this drug that we think it is. It's just kind of
Yeah.
nice. You know, he's just like he definitely prefers it. You know, he knows the ones
Does
that
he
are
react to the sound of the can opening or no? It's not that bad.
we don't really give him that much carbonation. He recognizes
Oh,
one drink because it's sugar free that I like giving him because it's like it tastes good and it's healthy enough. I don't really care that he drinks it, and he recognizes that and he's like, "Give me that shit." I like that more than the bottle for sure. But
yeah.
it's not like he wasn't his mind wasn't blown or you know like there's this idea that you give a Dorito to a peasant and they're not going to be able to handle how much flavor is in it
Whoa. Yeah.
and
They would just eat it.
they're okay.
I
They're like,
was they're like, if
this
we
tastes
gave a
good.
chocolate bar.
I'll take
All
more.
right.
I'm enjoying it, but like this isn't gonna fucking. My
It was
world has
the
not
Stargate
changed.
movie. Have you seen Stargate?
No, I don't know what that is.
A sci-fi movie. I haven't seen a lot of movies at all, so that was like that was a shot in the dark where I was like, oh yeah, maybe I can look cool and he's gonna recognize this movie because you talked about so many movies that I didn't fucking recognize this whole time. One of the only movies in the world
What
that I've
movies
seen.
have I been talking about? You don't know
You
Star
mentioned-
Wars?
I've never seen it, but I could tell you said a
That's
word that was a
so
bad guy from it. I know that Anakin is a bad guy.
That's it.
Half of what was funny about that was
Star
that
Wars
you
is
brought
good.
it up and that there's humor in me not understanding it. Where I was like, oh yeah,
No, but I didn't even get that
ball,
you. I didn't even get that you didn't understand it.
And I
So
wanted
it wasn't
to
even that
tell
funny.
you.
So it's not funny for that.
Excuse me, let me can you explain Star Wars to me real quick in the middle of fucking bring up a different topic in the middle of that? And it's
I
not
could
that
have explained it. It was actually really easy to understand. He kills some kids in it when he goes evil.
it was self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It was self-explanatory.
So
I've
it
just never
actually
seen Star
what?
Wars.
So don't say that it was funny because you didn't get it. You didn't need to get it, and also
It's
no one got that
funny.
you got it, and it was self-explanatory.
No, it
Liar. That
No.
girl's a liar.
No, because it's funny
What other movies have
that
I been mentioning? We're moving on because I'm right.
Okay.
What other movies? What other movies did I mention?
I could have sworn.
Yeah,
you
me and my deep
No, you-
cultural knowledge of one of the most famous movies of all time that every kid has watched.
You
Star
said
Wars. Star Wars
you
was
said
too obscure.
some movies make you like that. You have to like. You didn't use the phrase.
Oh, I did say that. I did say this, but I didn't give examples of what movies. I'm currently watching
give
Manchester by
examples.
the Sea, and I paused it to come watch because I like watching very dramatic, thoughtful, emotional movies. I think it's a way to like engage with the world. I'm really liking it, but who knows if it's good? I'm only like 20 minutes in.
Cool.
So
Okay, I will let you go. Finally.
yeah, I'm gonna go watch Manchester by the Sea, and then probably I've heard it's very good, but you wouldn't know because you don't know what good movies are. All you know is
I watched Cocomelon.
Cocomelon, exactly. You beat me to the.
I'm gonna watch
my
slap. I'm gonna watch my Destiny and my YouTubes and my fuck movies. I would never watch a movie. Sit down for 2 hours and not the phone.
You're watching.
And not the
You're
phone.
watching streams.
Yep.
For like 8 hours a day.
You don't have to be tuned in the whole time. He's doing different stuff every 30 seconds.
You guys are crazy. I'm so glad I'm not.
I'm doing other stuff while I'm doing it. That makes it sound worse.
All right, I'm gonna take off.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.